What's up?
9.1. I'm Rick Smith, and this is Labor History in 2. On this day in labor history, the year was 1946. That was the day the United Electrical Workers joined the National Post-War Strike Way. 200,000 UE members walked off the job at General Electric, Westinghouse, and General Motors Electrical Division. Across the country, reduction of hours and phony job reclassifications led to a 30% wage cut, while years of wartime grievances piled up. All of this led to the workers demanding a $2 a day pay raise. Many of these workers were young women on strike for the first time. They had spent much of the war fighting piecework and gender-based divisions of labor. Reports from the picket lines showed overwhelming support among the strikers and from the general public. Older male co-workers who built the UE joined young women strikers on the line. At the GE Mazda Lamp Works in Youngstown, Ohio, steelworkers joined women strikers to bolster the picket lines. In Lynn, Massachusetts, signs of women picketers read, "We want to live, not just exist," and "Let the pipes freeze. They don't care if we freeze," in response to maintenance crews being allowed to pass. In Bloomfield, New Jersey, 6 restaurants turned their establishments over to the strikers. GE President Charles Wilson complained bitterly of 1,000 or so that blocked the gates of the GE Schenectady plant. Strikers across the country faced...
Good morning, folks. It's a cold one out there. 12 degrees.
Philadelphia strikers retaliated by pouring marbles onto the streets. Workers at GE and Westinghouse would eventually settle for 18 cents an hour, less than what they had hoped for, but more than either company had been willing to give. Management would remain in shock for years at the level of solidarity among the strikers and the community.
The views and opinions of this show and program are not the views and opinions of this station, its management, or its clientele.
This is Adam Finelli of the Columbus River Dragons. Your home for River Dragons hockey in Unit 99.
Well, I'll tell you what, again, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time on a weird Wednesday morning. Coming up, we have Randy, Rock and Cody from themetalden.com will join us in the final period. We'll talk Motley Crue news, the list, and dedicate this morning to his late great mother who passed away. Well, also, ladies and gentlemen, it's Wednesday. It's Wrestling Wednesday. You know what that means. Who am I? I'm RyanORadio, Penitentiary host, the one, the only Ryan O'Neal, and... Oh, yes, I am the game. 50,000 plus of you worldwide on that shoutcast, shout it out loud across that RyanORadio media page. Earth, Rock, Radio, New Mexico, Arizona, and the Navajo Nation. We're across the British Columbia Isles of Canada, eh? That's, of course, and finally, the Jordan Communication of family radio stations, East Alabama, West Georgia, including right here at Atlanta's very own WQEE 99.1 FM, The Key. We're at the headquarters of Noonan in historic downtown Noonan, but we're Atlanta's radio station in Georgia and Alabama, and Tennessee's radio station. We're also worldwide for you. And to my haters, you know what? I only got one thing to say to you. Get up close to the radio dial and listen to what RyanORadio Penitentiary has to say. You're in lockdown. I am the man around here at 16 minutes past the hour at 12 degrees. Your radio news time and temperature brought to you by Active Pest Control. Summer, winter, spring, fall. We don't care for those rodents, critters, or gooey things at all. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Weatherman says we're hitting near 21 by 10 a.m. this morning and 31 degrees. Hitting by 1 o'clock. It's going to go back down. We're going to warm up a tad bit to 30, 34 degrees. It's going to be another cold night in store for us in the Atlanta, metro Atlanta areas and across Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, into the Carolinas. Of course, we got a lot of listeners out in Iowa as well as Indiana and the Midwest tuning in this morning. Up in Illinois, we appreciate you guys there. It's always snowing in Illinois most of the time during this time of year. But I tell you what, we're going to talk about some school delays coming up for you in just a few. Plus, we'll get you some news. Nikki Haley is not planning on showing up to the primary debates in New Hampshire. And guess what? They've been canceled. ABC canceled the primary debates. And she said because since Trump don't want to show up, She ain't got time. She needs to keep doing what she's got to do. Also, we'll talk about Israel at war. A couple of things. The EU blacklists Hamas political leader for his involvement in the October 7th attack. And we'll get more details. There was over the weekend a ceasefire protest at the Washington Capitol. Speaking of the Washington Capitol, they're looking for a man who acted like a moron and set somebody on fire, threw lighter fluid on him and set him on fire. And he looked like a kind of a bummy hillbilly. I'm from Virginia, boy. I'm tired of all this. Oh, man, I want to be just like one of them female, go out one of them there islands and pick me up one of them young girls. So there ain't nothing wrong with that. Those kind of people. Yep. And they say they're against it, but they are for it. We'll talk about this idiot. Plus, this morning, we got your daily devotion. Setting people on fire, man. What is wrong with people? And it's Wednesday. You know what that means? Time for Wednesday wrestling wrap-up. What you got to do, brother? When Hulk Hogan runs wild and rips your door off of your car and saves you. That's right, Hogan. Hogan helped out a woman in a crash that was flipped upside down on a Florida highway. We're going to talk about that this morning. In the wrestling wrap-up. Also, Seth Rollins' injury. What does that mean for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship? There's some rumbles and stumbles and behind the scenes that Triple H could use that Royal Rumble as the winner of that could be the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. But Seth Rollins is like, hey, no, I'm good. So we'll talk more about that. Also, TNA Wrestling did its highest grossing viewership from over the weekend in subscriptions with the debut of Nick Nemeth, the former Dolph Ziggler, and a couple other big WWE superstars. And there may be even more. I think the former Elias becoming Ezekiel may be heading to TNA. So we'll talk about all of that this morning in the world of wrestling. NWA and OVW continue their partnership as they head into this arena. And we've got some Memphis wrestling coming up for you. And you can check out Memphis Wrestling on WQMK TV 18 on Roku, or in Auburn, our affiliate station there, television station, WQMK TV, bringing in Memphis Wrestling every Saturday night. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got a lot of stuff in store for you. It's time for us to get ready to kick off this show. And Randy Rocket Cody will join us this morning. We'll dedicate the morning to his mother, and who passed away recently. And we're going to talk with him about more in the music going on in the rock and roll business and the metal business. Motley Crue behind the scenes, more and more details. Mick Mars' new album out, and the list that he gave you. We'll talk about the list, the Jeffrey Epstein's list, a little bit with him. All that's coming up on this edition of RyanORadio Penitentiary. 21 minutes past the hour. We'll take a look at traffic in a few moments. But first, let's do our daily devotion, sponsored by our friends at Noonan City Church. Noonan City Church, 17 First Avenue, here in the metro Atlanta area of Noonan. That's right. It is Noonan City Church every Sunday morning, 8 a.m. Outside services, 9 a.m. and 10:30 a.m. Possibly we'll be inside this Sunday because it's going to be way too cold to be outside. Now, we're not complaining, Pastor Ellison, but, Also, 6:30 p.m., hip kids come in for the NCCPM for Noonan City Church. Noonan City Church, transforming lives for Jesus' sake. Pastor Cedric, Pastor Randy, Pastor Darren, and Head Pastor Jimmy Ellison invite you out every Sunday. And from Jesus Listens, our daily devotion prayer book from Sarah Young. This is what she's bringing together today. She said, my great God, I love hearing you. And now she's bringing together Revelations 21:5, Philippians 1:21, and Romans 8:22 through 23. And she's mixing this together for her own thought process. My great God, she said, I love hearing you speak your word. I am making everything new. This is the opposite of what's happening. This is the opposite of what's happening in my world of death and decay. I realize that every day I live means one's less day. I realize that every day that I live means one less day remaining in my lifespan on here on earth. But because I belong to you, Jesus, that doesn't trouble me. At the end of each day, I'm thinking I'm closer one step to heaven. I have a good reason to rejoice because you have promised to renew all things, including me, making everything glorious and perfect. In Jesus' name, and triumphant. In Jesus' name, amen. That's right, man. Don't worry about the worldly things. Worry about what God has in store for you in the future. One step closer. And I'm not even worried about it. Heck, I'll tell you right now, I'm not even worried about revelations because my feelings with being a true believer, I am good. Now, we got a lot of great true believers out there hitting the streets, a lot of great pastors out there giving their sermons. We got a lot of great street preachers. And I pray over all of them for giving the word because they are telling it like it is and not telling people what they want to hear. And kind of like the straight edge independent skeptic here, Ryan O'Neal, telling you the truth, tell me when I'm telling lies and no one can tell me when I tell lies. And guess what? You can't handle the truth. And they're out there doing the same thing every day. So we'll pray over them. All right, let's jump into it. Headline news. Top news stories in the Atlanta market, of course. School closings and delays. Let's start in Georgia here. Bartow County delayed 2 hours today. Calhoun County delayed 2 hours today. Cartersville City Schools delayed 2 hours today. Clark County Schools delayed 2 hours today. Clayton County Schools got virtual learning today. Decatur County delayed 2 hours. Fanning, Floyd, Gordon, Rome, all delayed for 2 hours today. Union City Schools open late 2 hours. Union City Schools also delayed 2 hours, same thing. And Whitesville County Schools will be closed today. Coweta County Schools already heading out today. The buses are out there. I saw some people fussing online about this. My kids, Bob, back in the day, man, and really argue with a child. That shows me you quit school when you were 16. If you got to argue with a kid online, a kid, because they're defending that it's too damn cold to be there. Come on. Also, on the other side of things in Alabama, Chambers County Schools are going to open a couple of hours late. Virtual learning for Phoenix City Schools and Russell County Schools, and virtual learning for Chattahoochee Valley Community College. That's what's going on, Alabama and Georgia schools in the East Alabama, West Georgia area. I did notice yesterday there's some people arguing online here. Does it make you a man? Oh, I'm a man. Sure. Only man in life standing right in front of you. One of the very few of us who doesn't think arguing with a child or supporting evil people is the way to go. I'm not taking them arguing the beast because I want lower gas prices and food. Saw a guy arguing with a child. It's like, hey, I go to school. It's cold in those buildings. Yeah, in Coweta County right here. We're still building the school back up after the tornado that hit us a couple of years ago. Alan Jackson raised a lot of money for us, right? He sure did, but where is it? I don't know. That's a question that needs to be brought up to wherever that money is. And they're still working out there, and it's taking a little time to get the school back up and going because it was kind of hit hard too. And the kids are in these buildings. And now I know that some of my generation is going to say, well, back in my day, we used to get on a cold bus and everything. Well, that was called child abuse, guys. We were being abused, child abuse, okay? Our parents would smack us upside the head at the dinner table and our food comes spitting out. And then we get hit again because it came spitting out, okay? Look, the greatest generation of all was kind of abusive to the Generation X, okay? We're going to sit here and call people fruity or these kids are being cuddled because why? Why? Because the school system either decides for them to go to school or not. Now they're going to school this morning. There's going to be a lot of parents going, I don't want them in that cold building, in a cold unit. And they're outside some school units, kind of like we used to have for, actually, those units that they're using were the kind of units we used to use for summer school to punish the kids that had to go to summer school. But that was back in the day. But what really gets me is an adult sitting there really arguing about these kids and calling them all kind of names. And back in my day, well, back in your day, you were abused, okay? And you're going, oh, was it? Yes, you were. Jesus Christ. I remember my dad thinking that his dad did all right by crushing his face into the ice when he was a child. That was not abuse. I told my dad, I was like, Dad, when he was alive, I was like, your dad abused you, man. You as a child slipping up on the ice and dropping something at 6 or 7 and him crushing your face into the ice is not him punishing you because you messed up. Okay? And that was the greatest generation that was getting punished that way from the generation before that. You know, every generation is different. No, I tired of hearing that. Abuse is abuse. So for us to ride in a bus without any heat, it's kind of abusive, okay? And the school systems didn't have the money back then to get it. Now they do. Well, these kids are in these cold buildings. It's 12 degrees right now. We're expecting them to show up for English class at 8 o'clock in the morning or something. And then if one of these kids get on there and defend themselves on the internet, some adult wants to argue with them. I'm not going to argue with a child, okay? I might disagree with some of what they believe, and but arguing with them is not going to get your point across. Going, you're a little weakling, and you're a little weakling, and you're a little weakling. I mean, I understand some of the parents made up some intelligent observations where, well, it was, I got to get to work and I don't have time to find somebody to watch my kids and da-da-da-da-da. If school's out in the last minute, da-da-da. So I understand that parent. I don't understand somebody who just wants to argue because they turn in everything political. My God, man, cancel culture on everything, boy. Can't smack a woman on the butt anymore. You can't call people the N-word. That you can't do like Grandpa used to do and join up with the boys in the white. It's such a cancel culture society. Like all that stuff was right back then. It was right back then. No, it wasn't. Oh, somebody's pulling out. They're probably mad. I'm going to go get that boy. That boy right there. I'm going to get him. I don't like that boy there on that there radio. He tells too much of the truth. I can't handle the truth. But no, I'm just saying, don't argue with a child. Don't say I have if you're going to have an opinion, come up with an intelligent observation about something. Don't just say, well, kids are weak nowadays and they can't sit in the cold unit in 12-degree weather, man. I got things I would rather do than have them sit at home. They just cried. When the school system decides to do that, and the school's like, oh man, I'm going to make the parents mad, so now we got to make them go to school today. And then they go to school in this 12-degree weather, and some parents are like, why? Why my kids got... That's why they're opening up a couple hours late so that the weather will warm up. Okay. Oh man, Ryan, you're just mean. No, I'm telling the truth. And you can't handle the truth. The truth is, man, we argue way too much about every little damn thing. And it's irritating to me. It's irritating to see people not make a point and go, what's your point? Okay. You obviously quit school when you were 16 or 17 and thought you knew it all. And now you're in your 40s and 50s and you think you know it all. And then you want to argue with a teenager because he's like, I don't want to be sitting in the cold. Well, you're just weak. What? You can argue. Look, first of all, you never argue with a teenager because you know 100% they're not going to, all right, 90% they're not going to be right. 10% they might be right. Okay. But arguing with them, I mean, if it's your own child, that's beside the point. I mean, of course, you can argue with your own child, but you're arguing with somebody else's child online. I saw that on the internet last night. I was like, really? This is over what? I think yesterday of everything being shut down or something like that, and Fridays and everything. So I was like, man, people are just, your generation's weak. I'm going to tell a 16 and 17-year-old child I'm going to tell a 16 and 17-year-old child that this is cancel culture. How is it cancel culture when the school system is doing what's best for the kids? Well, I'm just going to argue about it. And they're weaklings. And we used to ride the bus. And then I thought somebody was funny and got on there and was like, yeah, when I got it, and somebody did the same joke I usually do. Well, our bus driver used to drive up, and because our parents used to say we used to walk up and down the hill in the snow, and our parents used to tell us that. Now Generation X like, well, our bus driver used to drive up and down the hill in the snow. I saw some people that did that. I was like, this person's making fun of people. But really, if you're going to have a conversation, have an intelligent conversation, guys. Stop spitting out parakeet talking points from Mama Bird from TV, spitting it in your mouth and you bringing it up, and it's not real. All right, time for Killingsworth Realty Road Report. Let's see what's going on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I tell you what, we appreciate you tuning in. Let's take a look at some of the traffic out there. Traffic is picking up because everybody's back to school and work on this Wednesday, a couple of days after Dr. Martin Luther King Day. We had some shutdowns yesterday with some icy rain yesterday morning in our area and snow in parts of Georgia, North Georgia, and North Alabama going into Tennessee. Let's take a look at some traffic issues. Monroe crash, I-75 past Highway 54, blocking the right lanes and getting pretty slow up to another about 7:49 Eastern Standard Time this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, over in Snellville, there is a crash near Centerville Highway 120, blocking lanes. That's up to about 7:40 Eastern Standard Time this morning. Going on down the line in DeKalb County, just to let you know, stall in the second right lane, I-285 westbound, outer loop, right before Dunwoody Road. That's exit 29. That's going to be up to about 7:50 a.m. this morning. Stall in Roswell as well on Highway 92 up to about that same time. Looking good on Bullsboro this morning, Lower Fayetteville Road as well, and Popular Road. Jackson Street's picking up a little bit as the school buses are coming by too, heading down LaGrange Street towards the high school at Coweta County High School, our Union High School, or part of the Coweta County School Board system. They are opening today, of course, after yesterday's shutdown. Headed down Interstate 85 southbound. No traffic issues in Grantville or Hogansville. The interstate's picking up a tad bit, a little bit. Heading straight into LaGrange. New Franklin Road picking up a little bit. Backed up on Commerce Avenue, heading down downtown LaGrange, the back way towards West Point. Come off the interstate and into Kia Boulevard, though, Interstate 85 southbound. They're back to work there. Heading down to West Point exit. Hey, there's backed up at the Love's gas station because a lot of people are getting their breakfast from Hardee's. But hey, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Still, there's a better route to get off because there's construction going on there in West Point. Get off at the exit Lynette Valley exit right there, the first exit going into Alabama. That'd be the best way to do it. And you got Burger Row on both sides. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's look at what's going on. Shoot us an email at 99classicrock@gmail.com. That's 99classicrock@gmail.com. Or you can do this for me. Call me at 770-347-9947. Become a WQEE News Hound. News, weather, traffic, events going on. We'd love to let everybody know. You're tuned in to Metro Atlanta, and Georgia, Alabama, and Tennessee, and North Florida's radio station. We're also across the world on the Shoutcast, Shout It Out Loud, 50,000 plus of you with a RyanORadio Penitentiary. Be careful out there this morning. A little cold weather, 12 degrees. A look at that active forecast is next. We're going to put you guys in the penalty box for safekeeping. Returning after the break.
Summer, winter, spring, fall, we don't care for those rodents, critters, or good things at all. Sunshine sunshine to start today, a few afternoon clouds. Cold though with a high near 39, north-northwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Some clouds tonight with a low near 21, winds light and variable. Your Thursday outlook, high near 50, a few afternoon clouds, mainly sunny though, winds light and variable. For your Thursday night, well, we got a 60% chance of showers in the metro Atlanta area. Overcast skies, rain showers. Southwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour, 60% chance of rain. Headed to your Friday, we've got morning clouds giving way to sunshine by the afternoon. High near 41. Northwest winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Clear skies for Friday night at 16 again. Northwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. That's your active weather forecast. Sponsored by Active Pest Control. Summer, winter, spring, fall, we don't care for those runners, critters, or gooey things at all. Michael the Crew can exterminate and let us smack down for you. Active Pest Control.
Oh, yes.
The prices to protect your home, offering both monthly and quarterly pest control services, plus specific services like bed bug, vermin roach, and flea control. Even if you can't see them, insects are all around you 24/7. Active Pest Control wants to be the first line of defense. Active Pest Control. Repair, buy, best termite coverage around. Active Pest Control. 34 Jefferson Street, Newton. 770-954-9941.
Hey there, folks. Looking for a top expert in medical, health, and life insurance? Look no further than CP Financial. Meet Charmaine Preston, your trusted agent for finding the perfect plan to meet your budget. She works with multiple companies, ensuring the best option just for you. Don't miss out on the chance to make the right choice for your financial future. 706-525-5931. Speak to Charmaine Preston, CP Financial, your top local sale agent.
You're walking, shopping, or on your favorite trail. You get that feeling somebody's coming up on you. What do you do to be prepared in today's world? Hi, I'm Holly Reese. I'm the founder of Warrior Defenders. As a certified tactical self-defense instructor, I'm specializing in women's self-defense. All women of all ages have the ability to learn how to defend themselves effectively. Their survival skills, you can be your own hero. Classes and private seminars are available. Learn today to have a safer tomorrow. WarriorDefenders.com.
Shenyang Performing Arts invites you to travel to the magic world of ancient China. Experience authentic culture brought to life with incredible classical Chinese dance, magical scenery, and soul-stirring music. Shenyang. Coming to River Center for the Performing Arts, January 23rd only. Tickets at shenyang.com/Columbus-GA. That's SHENYUN.com/Columbus-GA.
Sunday, January 28th, Hollywood Haley J is coming to Memphis Wrestling. Plus, the return of James L. Get your tickets right now at MemphisWrestling.tv.
Check it out on WQMK TV 18. Oh, I'm saved by the bell. So are you. Welcome back into RyanORadio Penitentiary. What's up, sports nuts, inmates, and more? What you doing here in the cool weather of 12 degrees Fahrenheit? Clear out there. And it's currently 20 minutes away from the top of the hour. Your time and temperature brought to you by Active Pest Control. Welcome back in to RyanORadio Penitentiary. All right, we're going to take a break here in just a few and get you some sports news. We're going to talk a little bit about what's going on. Who could be the Georgia Bulldogs' top show for 2024, 2025? Football season is already on the mind of many college football alumni after Michigan taking the championship this year, 12-round playoffs, and the only Nick Saban retiring from Alabama. So we got more football action for you to talk about, and a couple of big names making their way. Bill and Jim, Bill Belichick, Jim Harbaugh, all making their way to Atlanta to get an opportunity to be the head coach for the Atlanta Falcons. Interviews all this week. Who do you think is going to be We'll talk more about that in Dirty Bird News. And the Hawks did something great with J.P. Morgan on Monday in honor of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. But first, let's get into some other headline news for you here. And some of that headline news includes what's going on in Israel at war. European lawmakers have decided to sanction Yanni Sinwar, the political leader of the Hamas terrorist group, over a threat that his militant group poses to the union's member states in its October attack on Israel. In a brief statement to European Council, the union bodies that decided its political direction said it's blacklisted Sinwar, there you go, what a name, Sinwar, leader of Mahmoud Sinwar, on Tuesday, freezing all of his funds and financial assets held in the union's 27 member states. This war will be over pretty soon now. As the political leader of Hamas, Sinwar is believed to have been involved in the planning and execution of October 7th attack on Israel that resulted in the death of 12,000 Israelites and sparked the ongoing war that has disabled the region. Israel military officers have targeted him in this war, calling him a dead man walking. They need to play that Undertaker song, Dead Man Walking. And then rolling. Never mind. Anyway, believe he and other Hamas leaders are hiding in tunnels under Gaza. Of course they're hiding. They're scared. They're going to come get us. Which have been under Israel's siege for more than 100 days, ladies and gentlemen. On Tuesday, the foreign minister of Israel thanked the EU for sanctioning Sinwar, calling it a just and moral decision. I like that too as well. So he told you he was a bad guy. See how somebody can, see how a leader can embed your mind and make you use cult-like mindsets to get you to believe that he's the good guy. Poor people in Palestine. That would never happen in the United States, right? That some political leader would make people think he's the good guy. Anyway, thousands of people gathered in the nation's capital on Saturday afternoon calling for a ceasefire in Gaza, making roughly a 3-month conflict since Israel launched its military operations after following the October 7th attack in Israel by Hamas terrorists. A sea of red and green Palestinian flags covered all over Freedom Plaza just over the weekend in the east of the White House as marchers continue to march down Washington Street to protest Israel's ongoing military operations that's left nearly 23,000 people dead and more at risk of starvation, disease, in small Palestinian territories of 2.3 million people, ladies and gentlemen. Now, this news story I'm about to bring up, I don't know if it has any connection to the march or not, but this one's out of Washington, D.C. just a couple of days ago. Washington, D.C. police are looking for a man that's suspected of lighting another man on fire in broad daylight on Monday afternoon, not far from the Capitol building. The victim had been walking at the intersection of North Capitol Street and P Street Northwest. The suspect then ignited him with liquid and then set him ablaze. Wow. And then took off running. There's a picture of him taking off running. I don't know if this has anything to do with the march for the weekend or somebody protesting against those protesters, but this is not protesting. This is idiotic. Just like arguing with a teenager online is idiotic. Back in your day, you were abused. We didn't call it that then. Anyway, the victim was taken to the local hospital and is still in serious conditions. 202-727-9099. That's 202-727-9099 is the Metro Police Department for Washington, D.C. We need to get this good old boy off the street. That looked like, I'm going to set somebody on fire, go on like a man. It's protesting, man. It's protesting to send somebody on fire. I don't know if it has anything to do with the protest that happened a couple of days ago on Saturday. This happened Monday. I don't know if it had anything to do with that. We're going to keep them as separate incidents. We're not going to do like mainstream media news does in the CNN fake news or the Snooze Max or the Fox News or any of those people that lie to you. We're going to say we don't know. We don't know if they were connected or not. We just know that this happened a few days after that. There may be a connection and there may not be a connection. It may just be some idiot that did something. So, all right, coming up, we're going to take 10 minutes away from the top, or 12 minutes away from the top of the hour. We're holding at 12 degrees. Your time and temperature brought to you by Active Pest Control. All right, stay with us. Still to come on the RyanORadio Penitentiary. I'm going to talk a little bit about what's going on in the world of sports. Also, we got a Wednesday wrestling wrap-up. You know what that means. Hulk Hogan, we're going to tell you what the Hulkster did. That's right. Hulk Hogan helped save a woman's life, and Seth Rollins may be out for the remainder of the year, or the remainder for about 6 months. He had an injury Monday night in his match with Jinder Mahal. We'll talk more about that. Plus, we'll give you a little preview of tonight's AEW Dynamite. That's all coming up in your Wednesday wrestling wrap-up. And in the final period, my good friend Randy Rocket Cody will join us. He and I are going to talk about what's going on in the music world. Motley Crue camp, as well as dedicating the morning to his mom who passed away just recently, and the list that he was given for the last 4 or 5 years on the network here, but even longer in his journalistic integrity. A real journalist coming to the show to talk about everybody that's on that list and whether he thinks that they're going to get any time or charges for it. We'll talk into all that coming up in the final period of play. Randy Rocket Cody from themetalden.com. And you know what? As a journalist in the music world, I'm sure he didn't want to have to jump into this other world, but the connections of Chris Cornell and Chester Benningfield, who passed away, quote, from suicide, is still kind of hard to believe for people that knew those gentlemen. And I met Chris Cornell many years ago, but I can't say I knew him inside his head. But we'll talk more about that coming up this morning. Thank you for tuning in to RyanORadio Penitentiary. You're tuned in to RyanORadio Penitentiary. We're going to take a break. Back in a moment. Got a couple other news stories right after the break.
NFL divisional round kicks
Two
off
people were all
Saturday.
kind of coming up.
Texans and Ravens will battle in Baltimore. The Niners host the Packers. Ravens tight end Mark Andrews is expected to return from an ankle injury. Lions take on the Bucs Sunday, and Detroit Chiefs will face the Bills in Buffalo. The Falcons completed an interview with Michigan head coach Jim Harbaugh for their head coaching vacancy. Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin told the team he'll be back to lead Pittsburgh next season. Eagles center Jason Kelsey retiring after 13 seasons in the NFL. NBA Joel Embiid game high 41 points, 10 dimes. The Sixers knocked off the Nuggets for their third straight win. Caitlin Clark dropped in a game-high 32 as the second-ranked Hawkeyes crushed Wisconsin for their 15th straight win. Clark now fourth on the NCAA women's basketball career scoring list, passing Brittany Griner. On the ice, Oilers beat the Maple Leafs for their 11th straight win. That's sports. Rod Moss, NBC News Radio.
Wishbone Fried Chicken is back in a brand new location. 31 Jackson Street, Suite A here in Newton. Same great taste, the best chicken around. Fish dinners, open Monday through Saturday, 10:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's Wishbone Fried Chicken, right next door to their former location, bringing you the best chicken around. So great. Wishbone Fried Chicken, 31 Jackson Street, Suite A, here in Newton.
Shopping for insurance doesn't have to be stressful. I'm Christy, owner of Ellsworth Insurance, located here in Newton, Georgia. We're an independent agency with access to multiple carriers for home, auto, life, health, and commercial insurance. We're your one-stop shop for your insurance needs. www.insurewithellsworth.com, 770-755-7053. We look forward to meeting you soon.
This is Margie from Connecting Hearts Network. I'd like you to take just a moment and
Anna Marie! Good morning, all you no longer broadcasting from Facebook. Well, I'm connected to the Facebook, but the YouTube gets out
to help overcome barriers that prevent their success.
a lot further.
We meet twice a month.
And by a certain time, there's a lot of people that's liking it and viewing it.
Gratitude and kindness. We also
But
bring music and art.
I'm connecting them. I'm trying to figure out how to connect them. I'm glad you're on with us, Anna Marie.
FamilyPatternsMatter.org.
I am Apostle Deborah Harris.
Everybody's trying to figure out how to get on the YouTube.
Kingdom Connected Ministries International at 121 Hillwood Circle, Noonan, Georgia. Presenting Connecting.
Plus, we got a new sign and all kind of things.
Kingdom businesses and advancing the kingdom of God in this hour.
And since the YouTube also, none of my shows have disappeared on the YouTube.
Sharing their faith, business, and ministry.
What is good? 99.1 WQEE The Key. We got the hottest new show coming to you live, the Jet Stream. Tune in every Saturday on your
Here we
9
go.
a.m. morning drive.
Good morning to Anna Marie joining us here. Time to do the Noonan Dance for the Noonan Dance. The Noonan Dance. We call it the Noonan Dance. We are Metro Atlanta and Atlanta's WQEE 99.1 FM The Key. Shoutcast 50,000 plus of you worldwide. We're on the Earth Rock Radio, New Mexico, Arizona, Navajo Nation, British Columbia, and Canada. But the station here is going to be serving East Alabama, West Georgia, North Georgia, South Georgia, North Alabama, South Alabama, Central Georgia. So we're all for that, and into Tennessee. Majority of Tennessee, we're going to be serving you guys as well, and down to North Florida. Why? Because we're all neighbors and everything, and we get all the weather at the same time. So no, I'm not leaving South Carolina out. I might leave Mississippi out. I'm not sure. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Cool, just learning to navigate it. Laugh out loud as well doing the Noonan Dance. There you go. All right, a couple other news stories before we get out of here at the top of the hour. We got some more news for you. Nikki Haley says that if the former President Donald Trump is not going to be at the next New Hampshire presidential debate, that she doesn't feel like doing it because he needs to be there. ABC News said Tuesday that they are canceling the New Hampshire primary debate because Nikki Haley said she's not going to be there to debate unless he's there. Ladies and gentlemen, check it out on the WQEE key page. Floyd County, we got the list of them. Floyd County is helping out the homeless people in their community the same way we do here in Noonan as well. Noonan City Church is having our Nest program once again tonight. 5 p.m. will be the check-in time. 6 p.m. we'll have dinner and up all night there. We've got a lot of great volunteers from Noonan City Church. My home church, Noonan City Church, 17 First Avenue here in the metro Atlanta area of Noonan. I started with that church when there was only 15 and 20 of us, and now we have 4 services, great pastors, great associate pastors, great people that work for Noonan City Church, and a lot of wonderful people come to church with us. So, and we're helping out that as well. So I just want to drop those notes in there this morning. We still got some other big news for you. We'll get into it. We'll talk about the SEC. Yes, it's too early to talk about it. No, it's not too early to ever talk about the SEC. We'll talk about all that. Plus, this morning, Hulk Hogan, what you gonna do, brother, when I run wild on you and pull the door off and save a woman? That's right. Hulk Hogan saves a woman in a car accident that flipped upside down. Him and a friend helped pull her out. And we'll talk about Seth freaking Rollins. He injured himself Monday night. Will he be able to go? Or will he have to drop the WWE World Heavyweight Championship? And will they do something at the Royal Rumble this year that they haven't done in years? Crown a new champion that wins that Royal Rumble. We'll see. We'll talk more about that coming up in the next period. Preview of AEW Dynamite, NWA and OVW coming together. EC3, the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, and Memphis coming back. Haley J from Hollywood, Haley J from, and James Ellsworth. And that's going to be coming up in this edition of Memphis Wrestling. Check it out this Saturday night on WQMK TV 18 out of Auburn on Roku. Check it out. That is also all over Auburn, Opelika, and the Valley area, East Alabama and West Georgia there. That's our affiliate station. They're like, why don't you have your show on there, Ryan? I don't know. I'm trying to talk him into it. Boss man in front talk him into it. All right, we're going to take a break here and get ready to go to the top of the hour. We got news for you from SRN. Then we'll head into some of the headline news, get you a little wrestling wrap up, a little sports. And Randy Rocket Cody joins us this morning. We'll talk about Motley Crue, what's going on in their camp, dedicate the morning to his late great mother who just passed away, Randy Rocket Cody's mother. And we'll call her Mother Rocket. And we'll also jump right into the list. Yeah, the list that he and I have been saying who was on there, and they were on there. We'll get his opinion on whether or not charges will be brought up. He's a journalist. He's been following this story, and everybody he said was on there is on there. Unlike so many conspiracy nuts out there, I got a real journalist coming on talking about this. Back in a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Stay with us. I'm glad you learned how to navigate. And if you can share it with everybody too. We got to go ahead and subscribe to the station page because there's a lot of great shows we have on here on the network that I'm pushing their shows on there as well. I want everybody to know we're Atlanta, Alabama, Tennessee, North Florida, and South Carolina's station. Keep Mississippi over there. We're Southern. I don't know what they are. They go a little too far over there with some things. We don't eat possums here. Even in North Georgia, North Alabama, we don't eat possums. Now, Anna Marie might. Big in Anna.
Just exist and let the pipes freeze. They don't care if we freeze in response to maintenance crews being allowed to pass. In Bloomfield, New Jersey, 6 restaurants turned their establishments over to the strikers. GE President Charles Wilson complained bitterly of the 12,000 or so picketers that blocked the gates of the GE Schenectady plant. Strikers across the country faced violent confrontations and beatings as police on horseback waded through the crowds. Philadelphia strikers retaliated by pouring marbles onto the streets. Workers at GE and Westinghouse would eventually settle for 18 cents an hour, less than what they had hoped for, but more than either company had been willing to give. Management would remain in shock for years at the level of solidarity among the strikers and the community.
Buying some pretzel sticks?
Excuse me?
This is your wake-up call from TracFone Wireless.
Okay.
What if you didn't eat all those pretzel sticks by the end of the month, so this store took them back?
Good luck.
That's how some wireless companies are with your data, but TracFone Wireless gives you unlimited carryover data with active service, so you keep what you pay for. Plans start at $20 a month.
Wow, that's cool.
Sir, are you bothering the customers?
Yeah, hang on. This is your wake-up call, people. TracFone Wireless. Now you're in control. See terms and conditions at TracFone.com.
Wow.
WQEE 99.1 FM, The Key, Noonan, Sharpsburg, Franklin, LaGrange.
With SRN News, I'm Tasha Stevens. After the Biden administration removed the group from the terrorist list, Houthis are now being returned to the terrorist designation.
The Biden administration is expected soon to reclassify Houthi rebels in Yemen as specially designated global terrorists. The move follows dozens of attacks.
Good morning, folks. Getting up going.
The group says the attacks are in response to Israel's military operations in Gaza in the aftermath of Hamas's October 7th attack on Israel. The administration is expected to make the redesignation announcement on Wednesday. North Hall, Washington.
Also at SRNnews.com, the GOP presidential nomination race now moves from Iowa to New Hampshire. President Trump won the Iowa caucuses Monday night, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis finishing second, and former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley coming in third. At a campaign rally in Greenville, South Carolina, DeSantis thought back on the event.
Nikki Haley said only the top 2 from Iowa,
Keep going.
Go on to be viable. Well, guess what? We punched our ticket out of Iowa yesterday.
Former Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson
Asa.
and entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy suspended their presidential bids.
Of course they did. Nobody would care.
Snow and freezing temperatures are causing problems. National Weather Service meteorologist Mark Chenard says much of Oregon could get some ice.
It does look like we'll see a freezing rain event across portions of western Oregon, including the Portland area. Could be some pretty significant icing.
Southern states are also feeling the deep freeze. A large portion of Texas has not been above freezing in 3 days. Boeing stock is tanking after a report said an FAA audit opens up a whole new can of worms. It follows an incident in which a door plug opened during a flight. This is SRN News.com.
Where can you be a star athlete and a math superstar? Where can you prepare for graduate school or your dream job and make friends for the trip? Where can you challenge your mind and inspire your soul? Experience a transforming education at LaGrange College, one of the South's most affordable, highly ranked institutions. Learn more at lagrange.edu.
Shenyang Performing Arts invites you to travel to the magic world of ancient China. Experience a lost culture brought to life with incredible classical Chinese dance, magical scenery, and soul-stirring music.
Cold one out there today. It is 12 degrees, guys, in the metro Atlanta area.
That's SHENYUN.com/Columbus-GA.
School bus is out.
Look no further than CP Financial. Meet Charmaine Preston, your trusted agent for finding the perfect plan to fit your budget. She works with multiple companies, ensuring the best option just for you. Don't miss out on the chance to make the right choice for your financial future. 706-525-5931. Speak to Charmaine Preston, CP Financial, your top local sales agent.
Hey, Arnold here from Coweta Force. Coweta Force is Newland's own addiction recovery support center. We exist to provide recovery support services for individuals and family members who have been impacted by addiction. Our services are no cost, and all of our information is available on our website at www.cowetaforce.org or follow us on Facebook.
Hey, sports fans, it's Rod Peterson here, host of the Rod Peterson Show, inviting you to join us daily for 2 hours of Atlanta's funnest sports talk right here on WQEE. I say fun because it is. You've never heard a show like it because we make the listeners a part of the show every day between noon and 2 p.m. Eastern. You'll hear plenty of the best sports talk, including the latest on the Falcons, the Braves, and more. And who knows, you might even hear you. That's the Rod Peterson Show, daily at noon, right here on WQEE 99.1 FM.
Hey, sports fans. Weekdays, 3 p.m. Eastern to 5 p.m. Eastern. Drive time on WQEE. Braves Country is a Southern sports talk show. Matt McGee and the Armchair Quarterbacks. That's Braves Country. Matt McGee and the Armchair Quarterbacks. Weekdays, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. right here on WQEE 99.1 FM.
Hello, this is Perry Johnson's 2 cents. They are wrangling over the budget there in Washington, and the discussions are getting very heated. They claim there is nothing they can cut because they have cut everything to the bone. I find that kind of amazing. The Pentagon is audited every year. In fact, they've had 5 audits, and they have failed all 5. In the last audit, it's kind of interesting. There was $220 billion that they could not find. They have no idea where the money went. They said, well, that's not really a whole lot of money in perspective, but it actually represents $1,375 per tax filer. To me, $220 billion seems like quite a bit. And if they think it's so little, why don't they send $1 billion or $2 my way? I say that the government is spending too much money, and they have to start paying attention to cost. And that is Perry Johnson's 2 cents on the economy. For your 2 cents, go to PerryJohnson2cents.com. And enjoy
The views and opinions of this show and program are not the views and opinions of this station, its management, or its clientele.
All right, we're going to do it once more. And this time, no mistakes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good morning. Good morning. Great to stay up late. Good morning. Good morning to you. When the band begins to play.
everybody, the stars were shining bright. But now the milkman's on his way. It's too late to say goodnight. So say good morning. Ah, good morning. Something's what's up. Good morning. Good morning.
Here we go. Period number 2.
Hello, everyone. This is DJ Commando of a 45's Affair radio show where I play all vinyl 45s. You're listening to WQEE 99.1 FM.
You got that right. Thank you, DJ Commando. It is the final period of second period of play, I should say. You guys are in lockdown with us on this edition. It's the cold edition of your favorite radio show. It's 13 degrees now. It went up. It's warming up a little bit. It's warming up just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Let's kick this off. You're in lockdown. Who am I? I'm RyanORadio Penitentiary host, Ryan O'Neill. And of course, yeah, 50,000 plus of you worldwide on the shouting out loud across that RyanORadio media page. Rock Radio, Arizona, New Mexico, the Navajo Nation. We're in the British Columbia Isles of Canada, and finally across the Jordan Communication and Family radio stations, East Alabama, West Georgia, including right here at the heartbeat of Atlanta, 99.1 FM, WQEE, the key, home of Southern sports and inspirational talk. That's right. We're live in the studios in downtown Noonan. That's right off of Jackson Street. We welcome you into period number 2 of RyanORadio Penitentiary. News, weather, sports, and more. And to my haters, I got one thing to say to you. Whether they like it or not, I am the man around here. At 10 minutes past the hour, we are holding at 13 degrees, record low temperatures. Your news time and brought to you by Active Pest Control, 34 Jefferson Street in Noonan. That's right. They are the Active Pest Control. Summer, winter, spring, fall. We don't care for those rodents, critters, or gooey things at all. School buses are out on the road right now as we speak. A couple of hours delay in most of the schools, and we're going to give you some of the schools in East Alabama, West Georgia, including ours right here in the Coweta County area. Coming up this hour also at about 8:31 Eastern Standard Time, we're going to get in the ring because it's our Wednesday show, which means we do our wrestling wrap-up. And I'm going to talk about everything from Hulk Hogan saving a woman to Seth Rollins possibly not being at WrestleMania this year and the WWE World Championship taken away from him due to an injury, to OVW and NWA coming together with so much going on. TNA Wrestling this past weekend's biggest pay-per-view kicking off 2024, and Memphis Wrestling, which you can check out on our affiliate station, WQMK TV. That's right. TV 18 in Auburn, and also you can find it on Roku. Every Saturday night, it's Memphis Wrestling. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got all that coming up for you. Some headline news to kick it off. Let's go ahead and kick it off here with what is important, and that's this. What the heck? I don't even know what that was. I heard some beep, beep. We're also on our Facebook page, the RyanORadio Penitentiary Facebook page, across my personal Facebook page, the WQEE Key Facebook page, and our YouTube page, WQEE 99.1 FM, the Key Atlanta YouTube page. So you can see us and listen to us everywhere because we are professional radio at its best and live all day. All right, let's jump into it. We're going to start on the Alabama side of things this go around before we go into the Georgia side of things. Chambers County schools should be starting up here about 9 a.m. or a little bit after 9 a.m. Chattahoochee Valley Community College, virtual learning all day. Phoenix City Schools and Russell County Schools in Alabama, they're going to be having virtual learning all day as well. Looks like here's what's going on in the Georgia side of things. The Georgia side of things, ladies and gentlemen. Coweta County here where we are. Buses, I see buses out, so we're getting maybe a couple of hour delay there. It's still 13 degrees and cool weather out there. And the kids at Coweta County School are having to go into, at least at Newnan High School, they're having to go in school in buildings that have no heat. So just to let you guys know. And coming up here about 9 a.m. or a little bit after 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the schools are all, of course, going in at about 9 a.m. Bartow County, Calhoun County, Cartersville City Schools, Clark County, Decatur, Fanning, Floyd, and Gordon Schools, Rome, and Union City Schools all opening up today. Virtual learning only at Clayton County Schools and Whitfield County Schools are going to be completely closed today. So that's just some of the stuff that's going on with some closings and stuff. We are still currently holding at 13 degrees. It feels a lot colder out there. Hopefully you took care of those pipes, plants, pets, and people, but not in that order last evening. Make sure you do it again. Newnan City Church's Nest program will be open once again at 5 p.m. today. My Church of Choice. We're inviting you out. If you know someone in need of a place to stay, Newnan City Church is the place for if they're homeless, staying in their vehicle or whatever, because I know the cost of living's gone up. We're not going to get no political in this. Stop getting the political. We're just going to go to reality. It's going up. So we have openings there for wonderful people to come out and stay. 6 p.m. we'll have dinner for them tonight. 5 p.m. check in, and you'll be in there the rest of the evening if someone you know needs a place to stay. Don't just kick somebody off the street. Go, I don't like them, I'm tired of them. That's kind of hillbillyism. It's kind of a 1968 mindset. You know, people that don't care about people. I'm a Christian. I care about people. How about you when you act up? Anyway, let's jump back into it. That's some of the things that's going on. Some of the major things. Floyd County's got 10 locations, heat warming stations. Muskogee County's got some warming stations. Check all that out on our WQEE key page. Too much to talk about, but it's on our WQEE key page this morning. Go to our Facebook page and we'll keep you everything. We are your station in Georgia and Alabama. We are live all day long. So I'm telling you what, if you want to be a part of a live station and you've got an idea for a radio show or you got a lot of great sponsors, say, hey, I want to be on 770-347-9947. We don't say no, not because freedom of speech and everything. We don't say no because you're a local person and we're a local person. I like local people. Corporate people, sorry, don't want any of the corporate people here. And even my good sounding, wonderful sounding sports announcers from 12 to 5 are good local folks, even though Rod Peterson, Richard Holdridge, and Mac McGee and all the armchair quarterbacks are fantastically great radio personalities and sports analysts, of course. So that's weekdays there. All right, what we got going on? Let's jump into some of the headline news this morning. Top headlines this morning. ABC said Tuesday that they were going to be canceling the New Hampshire primary debate because Nikki Haley said that she will not debate unless the former President Trump's there. Donald Trump attends an opening of the E. Jean Carroll damage trial. Iran launches strikes into Pakistan aimed at rising tensions there in the Middle East. U.S. launches their third airstrike in Yemen. Senator Chuck Grassley is hospitalized with an infection. We'll talk about 15 states taking away children's opportunities to receive food during the month of June. We'll also have that for you in Newnan. Also, ladies and gentlemen, a Nebraska man stole a bobcat from his employer, wreaked havoc in a nearby business, ATM, and a police cruiser. He has been arrested and in custody. Washington, D.C. police are looking for a man they suspected for lighting another man on fire in broad daylight just on Monday afternoon, not far from the Capitol building. The victim was walking up this intersection of North Capitol Street and P Street Northwest. The suspect decided to ignite the liquid on him and throw fire ablaze. The victim was taken to a local hospital for treated for serious injuries. Anybody in that area, please get this, scumbag off in jail with his good old boy looks. 202-727-9099. That's 202-727-9099. Bitter cold snow and winter weather across the United States continues to come. It's currently 12 degrees here in the metro Atlanta and 13 degrees in the metro Atlanta and Atlanta areas, ladies and gentlemen, as it continues to be cold going into this evening. And some sports news for you this morning. Washington Commanders are being sued by Native American Guardian Association, which has been trying to get the Commanders to change their name back to the Redskins. The logo on the Washington helmets actually is an actual person, the Chief White Calf. And they said every time they wore it, they were honoring him. They want it back. Now, is that true or is that not true? We'll have to wait and see. We got some sports news coming up for you. Georgia Bulldog news, Hawk news, and some Falcons news. So that's Atlanta News Sports coming up in just a few moments. 20 minutes past the hour, we are holding at, can you believe it's still 13 degrees, your time and temperature, sponsored by your friends over at Active Pest Control, 34 Jefferson Street in Noonan. All right, let's jump into this news story. Let's hope it doesn't freeze up. My computer don't need to freeze up this morning either. But we're going to talk governors in 15 states are not going to be helping out kids in need this summer. And our state is one of them. Children in more than a dozen states like Iowa and Nebraska will not be getting food assistance this summer after 15 governors recently rejected a newly federal funding food aid program that started in June. All right, guys. I love our state and I respect our governor, but this is something I believe we should be doing. We do help out during the summer here with Bridging the Gaps, a program in Noonan, Georgia, to help out with the homeless. And also they get a lot of food items up to give to kids to have lunch and dinner during the summertime. They may not get anything else but 2 meals every day. And that 1 meal or 2 meals a day, breakfast and lunch, they get at school. Well, an estimated 8 million youngsters will be affected across Mississippi, of course. Mississippi, first one, boy. All right, boy, I'm not going to feed nobody else's kids because, I'm a selfish fake Christian. Mississippi, Alabama, Alaska, Florida, Georgia, Iowa, Louisiana, Nebraska, Oklahoma, South Carolina, South Dakota, Texas, Vermont, and Wyoming are amongst them. I wonder why. This week, students in the states that opted into the program started to receive enrollment notices. The program would give electronic benefit transfer cards to low-income families to supply food costs when the academic classes are out of session, with eligible families receiving $40 a month, a total of $120. What is the problem with that? That's not much. Hell, that's not even going to buy anything. And you're gonna stop that? No. We don't want to make the selfish fake Christians in these states mad. Let me tell you something. You better read your Bible. Stop claiming to be a Christian because you stole money your whole life. Don't mean you're a good person. Betting odds on the Auburn Alabama game don't make you a good Christian. I'm sorry. And if that makes you mad, I'm sorry. I actually am not sorry, because tell me when I'm telling lies. And my new one, you can't handle the truth. The U.S. Department of Agriculture estimates that the summer of 2024 program will serve close to 21 million children, around 70% of total eligible, and provide nearly $2.5 billion in grocery benefits. As of 2022, 82.7% of American households with children were served food securities in 2022, which should continue to stay. Leaders of some of the states have pushed back on for various reasons, including the requirement enrolled state must pay 1/2 of the administrative costs to implement the summer food aid program. Well, we've got raises in the state. Why not make a little extra money there? Come on. Last week, Mississippi Governor Tate Reeves, who rejected the program, said he would participate because of his desire to. He wouldn't participate because of his desire to reject attempts to expand a welfare state. Well, just about everybody in Mississippi's on welfare. Even the ones that are like, hey boy, I'm totally against those old people on welfare and I'm on welfare. Isn't it funny how people that are on welfare don't want the other people to have welfare? No, it's me, man. Me, because I vote the right way. That whole state is welfare, so I can understand that. Georgia is it, Alabama is it, so we a little bit more classier than that. Governors of the states like South Dakota, Georgia, and Nebraska opted out, pointing to their states' existing summer food programs or lack of funding or a staff capability to run the program. So Georgia, South Dakota, and Nebraska only did it because of the lack of people that are helping out. Why can't we help out? Okay. They're not pulling it because they're selfish, evil people. They're pulling it because some of us are selfish, evil people. Got these big old churches on every corner and we can't even help a family in need. God's going to look down on us. No wonder all this cold weather's in here. God's going to freeze us to death. Late last year, Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds, who I do like her and a lot of the stuff she says, but I don't agree with this, that she's not participating with the program, but I still do think she'd be a good president down the road. Federal COVID era cash benefit programs are not sustainable and don't provide long-term solutions for the issues impacting children and families. An EBT card does nothing to promote nutrition. It has become an epidemic. I see where she's coming. That you can't afford to buy the good food with the EBT cards. I can see where she's coming on that. See how I could sit there and look back and forth instead of going, oh, it's they're fat over evil people. They don't need anything, or these are satanic people. Yeah. See, the only one that I really don't like so far is the Mississippi. Man, we just don't want to be a welfare state. You're already a welfare state, buddy. Last summer, the offices of Governor Kristi Noem and the South Carolina Department of News watched that the state is not applying because summer meal programs are already offered and it's too challenging. Okay, so they have summer meal programs in South Dakota. So you see there? See how I get into getting into the news for you? Because if you just went by the headlines, you'd be thinking, oh, Kristi Noem is evil and Brian Kemp is evil and you'd be thinking all these people are evil. The only person that I right now I see that don't really care is Mississippi. But that whole state's a welfare state. In Iowa, I understand where she's coming from too. But I guarantee you, in my area and in parts of Georgia, even though we may not have that program statewide and everything, we've got it. Each county's got something they do. And so people are not going to let people go hungry. Kids go hungry. They just don't do that in the South. And that's why probably Georgia governor's like, well, I'm not really worried about what we're doing, even though we don't have a lot of people doing it. I know some of these small communities in Metro Atlanta are going to take care. Why? Because we're Southerners. We do. We get mad at each other, but by God, we're not going to let somebody go hungry we don't like, even if we don't like them. That's what's wrong with us Southern people. We got hearts of gold. We argue politics all day long, but by God, we're not going to let somebody freeze in the street and go hungry. I might not like you doing this. I might think you're lazy. Well, hell, boy, come on over here. I'm not going to let you freeze to death. I got a place for you to stay, and I'm going to take you out for a dinner. That is the South. Is that not right, Anna Marie? Why do you think so many people are moving to Georgia? Federal money comes with strings attached, and more of it's not good, said Ian Fury. He's the chief of communications for Christie, and he cited low unemployment and administrative burden running the program in South Dakota. You know what? If Elon Musk would not waste on X trying to get you to spend all that money there and take some of his millions and put jobs in all these states at good, and he could afford to pay people a cost of living in each one of these states. Hey, guess what? Boom, 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 ladies and gentlemen, it'd be all over. We can easily do that. You want to depend on Elon Musk? I want to depend on anybody that's a billionaire that can put money, and we put money back in his pocket. Yeah. Millionaires, no, they can't afford that. But a lot of millionaires I know were caring. They're caring. They don't take everybody's last little bit. I know that one millionaire had some apartments here, and he was basing everybody's rent on their funds and what was coming in, and he didn't do anything till he had to sell the apartment complex, and he was a millionaire. Heck, he never even threw anybody out of there owing money until he ended up selling the apartment complex, and then everybody left. But I'm just saying, there's a big difference. There's people out there. There's people out there that have it. And that goes back to my Southern roots right there, saying how Southern people are. A millionaire with all that money, making sure people had places to live at a reasonable price. So I know a billionaire like Elon Musk, he can definitely put jobs in every single state. And that's what these governors are trying to push for, like in South Dakota. South Dakota was not a very big state, and they could add some more, jobs in that area for people to have. Shouldn't have that much homeless or kids going hungry. So there you go. That's just my thoughts. Maybe my thoughts are right, because they are. Somebody would say, wouldn't you say maybe your thoughts are wrong? No. I'm always right. Tell me when I'm telling lies. All right. Okay, let me go ahead and jump in, and let me do this right before we get ready to take a break. A little sports news for you. Atlanta Hawks have joined forces on Monday with JP Morgan Chase for MLK Day to address homeowners' hardships. A transparent conversation about home ownership in Atlanta. A panel discussed on Monday. Panelists spoke on housing market trends and handling associates with home ownership of color. Also, ladies and gentlemen, Trae Young notched 10,000 in his quest to be one of the top players in the NBA. As a part of the Hawks beating the Spurs, Young went in the first quarter 3-point attempts, scored 29 points in the first half. He finished at shooting 11 for 24 in the field, 6 for 11 and on threes and 13 assists. Say that 5 times fast, Ryan. Atlanta will play their final game of the 5-game homestead today against Orlando this evening at State Farm Arena. And Bill Belichick has officially began being interested in his process of moving to a different position as a head coach. Atlanta Falcons spoke with him in an interview just a day ago, and of course now Jim Harbaugh from Michigan is coming in for an interview with the Atlanta Falcons. Wow, what an opportunity for many. What an opportunity. Woo, what an opportunity. 31 minutes past the hour. We are owning at 13 degrees under sunny skies out there in the Atlanta and Metro Atlanta areas, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk a little bit more about this. The most dominating SEC college football season in history is on tap with Georgia in the power poll. The Bulldogs would preseason number 1, as Kirby Smart knows the Georgia Bulldogs is headed for another national championship in 2024. Even though they didn't do it this year, they could be doing that. There's a list of teams in the team expansion in the college football playoffs, which is going to make it more of an issue for the your Georgia Bulldogs out there. some of the teams that they're going to be having to play this season: at Texas, at Alabama, Ole Miss, Kentucky, Clemson, and they just missed Tennessee, and they got that going on as well. Some of these teams are going to give them a little bit of, you know what? Will Alabama look good this season? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. All right, ladies and gentlemen, time for us to take a look at your most valuable smiles road report.
About your teeth, but is friendly to work with? How about one that offers great deals and new patient promotions? Well, your search is over. Most Valuable Smiles in downtown Eatonton, Georgia is committed to giving you the biggest and brightest smile. Right now, get a $99 new patient special, including x-rays and exam. Maybe you're looking for veneers. Most Valuable Smiles veneer special includes one free veneer with every 5 purchased. Or get that bright new deals. Call 706-623-0339.
Let's take a look at it right now, ladies and gentlemen. Here's what's going on as we get ready to take a break, a short break in just a few moments, and we're going to bring up your wrestling wrap-up after the break. Here's what's going on. Travel advisory in Woodstock Express Lane closed, I-575. That's up to 9:03 a.m., increasing towards, increased between Hollywood Springs and Highway 92. Use Highway 5. Also, DeKalb County, there's some ice being reported I-285 near Memorial Drive, exit 41. Be careful if you're in that area. Hopefully it melts. Main break there in Roswell near Highway 92 east of Crossville near Bentgrass. That's up to about 10:15 a.m. as they're working on that. And Sandy Springs, trees and wires down, utility work going on. Mount Vernon Highway shut down. Take River Drive or Long Island Drive. That's going to be hopefully up by 9 a.m. or a little after. No traffic issues on Bullsboro as well as Lower Fayetteville Road and Popular Road in front of the station. Jackson Street picking up a little bit. Down Interstate 85 southbound, no issues in Hogansville, Grantville, or in LaGrange right now. Looking good in East Alabama. You see something I don't see, shoot us an email at 99classicrock@gmail.com. Congratulations to the Georgia basketball team claiming another SEC road victory, and the victim was South Carolina, 74-69. All right, ladies and germs, stay with us. More on the way as the RyanORadio Penitentiary cruises on. It's Wednesday. You know what that means. Wrestling Wrap-Up is next.
It's a Wednesday, brought to you by Active Pest Control. Summer, winter, spring, fall, we don't care for those rodents, critters, or gooey things at all. Sunshine to start today, a few afternoon clouds. Cold, though, with a high near 39, north-northwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Some clouds tonight with a low near 21, winds light and variable. Your Thursday outlook, high near 50, a few afternoon clouds, mainly sunny, though, winds light and variable. For your Thursday night, well, we got a 60% chance of showers in the metro Atlanta area. Overcast skies, rain showers. Southwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour, 60% chance of rain. Heading into your Friday, we've got morning clouds giving way to sunshine by the afternoon, high near 41. Northwest winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Clear skies for Friday night at 16 again. Northwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. That's your active weather forecast. Sponsored by Active Pest Control. Summer, winter, spring, fall, we don't care for those rodents, critters, or gooey things at all. Michael the Crew can exterminate and let us smack down for you. LaGrange, Georgia, Sweetland on Ice, November 17th through February 11th. Adults, kids, and group rates available. It's free just to hang out here in the fire pit. Drinks, monthly movies, food truck Friday nights beginning in December. Weather updates and hour changes on the Facebook at Sweetland on Ice or Instagram at Sweetland on Ice Official. To book a party or learn more about seasonal passes, contact Lizzie at sweetlandamp.com. Lizzie at sweetlandamp.com.
Hey there, folks. Looking for a top expert in
Hey, beautiful. How you doing? It's Andrew Pilates.
further than CP Financial. Meet Charmaine Preston, your trusted agent for finding the perfect plan to fit your budget. She works with multiple companies, ensuring the best option just for you. Don't miss out on the chance to make the right choice for your financial future. 706-525-5931. Speak to Charmaine Preston, CP Financial, your top local sale agent.
Shopping for insurance doesn't have to be stressful. I'm Christy, owner of Ellsworth Insurance, located here in Newnan, Georgia. We're an independent agency with access to multiple carriers for home, auto, life, health, and commercial insurance. We're your one-stop shop for your insurance needs. www.insurewithellsworth.com, 770-755-7053. We look forward to meeting you soon.
Have you been considering a career in real estate? At Keller Williams Realty Atlanta Partners, we prepare you to excel in your real estate career by providing award-winning training, family-based culture, and lead generation tools to build a business that lasts. If you're interested in learning about our pre-licensed school or call 678-634-9770 or visit our website atlantapartners.com today.
Sunday, January 28th, Hollywood Haley J is coming to Memphis Wrestling. Plus, the return of James Ellsworth. Get your tickets right now at memphiswrestling.tv.
You can check out Memphis Wrestling every Saturday night on WQMK TV 18 in Auburn on Roku.
WQEE 99.1 FM, Newnan, Georgia.
Quiet on the set. Can we please have quiet on the set?
Yes, we can. Awesome. That's right. I came to play as well. Actually, welcome into the wrestling. It's Wednesday. You know what that means? This Wednesday wrestling wrap up every Wednesday about this same time. We're going to give you updates on what's going on in the world of professional wrestling, my thoughts on what I think should happen, and more. That's coming up right now on this edition of the RyanORadio Penitentiary. You guys are in lockdown. Let's get ready for lockdown. Great guest still to come. Randy Rocket Cody joins us. And Randy Rocket Cody joins us in the final period. We'll talk a little music news, Motley Crue, his thoughts on the list, whether anybody's going to be arrested or not, and we'll dedicate it to his late great mother who passed away as well. Andrew Planis is on with us this morning as well on the YouTube. She said, hello, cutie. Hello, beautiful. Hello. All right, time for a little wrestling wrap up. Let's do it. Our man, intro. What's up, Gail? How you doing joining us? Our man, intro. Hello, this is Vincent Kennedy McMahon. And if you're not listening to Wednesday Wrestling Wrap-Up right here on the RyanORadio Penitentiary, you're fired. Where are you at? Where are you at? Why are you not listening? Why are you not listening? I'm going to fire you if I fire my son and my daughter. What do you think to do to somebody I don't like? Now, Ryan, do what you got to do. Talk, no. Or you're fired. Okay, Vince, sorry. We get into the wrestling wrap-up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, a couple of headline news for you coming out of the world of professional wrestling. We're going to talk Hulk Hogan in a moment. What you going to do, brother, when Hogan saves your life? Charlotte Flair shares impressive rehab footage days after her knee surgery. It's going to be a few months for the Nature Boy's Nature daughter returns to the ring. We know that her fiance, Andrade, left AEW and maybe heading back to WWE. Mace, whose real name is Mason Madden, said that Fox nixed plans for Retribution back in the day when they were attacking all the up and coming wrestlers coming together, attacking as a faction, as an Antifa faction, because they just want to stay away from that, ignorance. Lexi King is moving on from AEW, WWE. The former Brian, that's his real name, Brian Pillman's son. It wasn't so much of a decision as it was just a necessary translate to go from one location to another. Coming up for a big Super Bowl commercial, ladies and gentlemen, it's for FanDuel commercial that's going to be released during the Super Bowl in February 11th, I think. John Cena faces off with the Grok, Rob, and of course they're going to be face to face in that commercial. Ash by Elegance, formerly known as Dana Brooke in the WWE, says, I honestly think WWE didn't believe in me. Now she's over in TNA Wrestling, and possibly she made a debut this past weekend along with the former Top Dollar AJ Franco and Nick Nemeth, the former Dolph Ziggler, who made his first wrestling debut Sunday night at Snake Eyes, which is going to be played at a different time, maybe on YouTube or something. But Nick says he's in TNA. TNA had one of the biggest draws Saturday night. I even watched the pay-per-view. It was better than anything AEW's come out in the last couple of months with. Great wrestling matches, great gimmicks, great surprises. TNA Wrestling is moving up to challenge AEW in the 2024. WWE still up here way above everybody. There's no doubt about it. I know there's going to be AEW marks that get mad at me for saying this. TNA is looking good. AEW continues to push the same old on us, and the same old guys that cannot wrestle because somebody from the indies likes them. Well, that's my friend. I want him to have a job. Well, give him a job. Let him work in the back somewhere. Pay him some money. But putting them out there and putting an international title on them when they're boring, don't have a gimmick, and nobody wants to see their matches, and people change the channel when they come on, tells you a lot about them. And I don't care how many people in the company are like, oh, Orange Cassidy's great. I don't care how many people keep doing that. You're never going to convince the fans that he's great. When you sit there and watch the show that TNA put on, Van Kingo, who's been wrestling with AEW at different times, as AAA is partnered up with TNA now, and they had a heck of a match, Van Kingo, Kushi, and X Division champion Chris Sabin. And he's talking about high flying. That was some high flying stuff right there. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, let's do this before we get ready to take a break. Hulk Hogan, brothers. What you gonna do, brother? What would you do if Hulk Hogan saved you in a car accident? Probably give him a hug. The immortal Hulk Hogan, the former, wearing his NWO shirt, he saved. We got for life. Was at a scene of an aftermath of a serious car accident that resulted in a woman being left upside down in a flipped car. Hogan jumped out into action to rescue the lady along with a friend, and they pulled the lady out of the car. The lady, of course, the friend had to pop the bag. The bag flew open from the saver. They had to pop the bag to pull her out. They got her out of the car because they were afraid the car would catch on fire. Emergency medical and police arrived to the scene, and the woman is doing all right. There's a docuseries about the life of Vince McMahon. It's still in the works. It's going to be on Netflix. Will it ever come out? I don't know. Hopefully so. Jack Perry made his return to the ring with a work. I'm calling it a work because New Japan Pro Wrestling and AEW work together. He shows up at the big event. I think it was somewhere in America. Mustafa Ali showed up. He's challenging somebody Saturday night. He showed up. That was a great surprise. Jack Perry comes out of the ring, attacks somebody, and tears up his contract. Fans barely even knew who he was. Well, the fans knew. Some of the fans knew, but the security guards like, who's this idiot coming out of the crowd? Jack Perry tears his contract up. Is it real or fake? I say it's a work. All right, ladies and gentlemen. WWE Legends Demolition Axe and Smash are scheduled for the 80s WrestleCon in Moorside, New Jersey. The event will be set for Saturday, May 4th, 2024. Tickets available at 80swrestling.com. Also, the Four Horsemen are set to be there too. Seth freaking Rollins defended his WWE World Heavyweight Championship, the big gold belt, the new version of the big gold belt, against Jinder Mahal, the former WWE World Champion. He beat him, of course, but he was injured in the match. They're saying that he may be out all the way through WrestleMania. What implications does this have in the world of professional wrestling? Does that mean Seth Rollins is going to be out? Does that mean they're going to strip him of the title Monday? Does that mean they're going to do what they did years ago when someone got injured and they stripped him of the world title? I think it was Macho Man or something. Somebody got injured of the WWE Championship. And Ric Flair was in the Royal Rumble and won that Royal Rumble and became the WWE World Heavyweight Champion in the Royal Rumble match. Will they do that in this year's Royal Rumble? That would be a cool gimmick if Seth Rollins is injured. Of course, the WWE Undisputed World Championship is going to be decided in a fatal four-way as Randy Orton, AJ Styles, and LA Knight take on the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble at the end of the month. I am going to be checking it out for sure. Excited to see what's going on. Drew McIntyre says he's going to win the Rumble. Cody Rhodes says he's going to win the Rumble. He also says Jey Uso could win it in CM Punk. Next week, CM Punk and Cody Rhodes come face to face. Wow. Wow. We're going to take a break, ladies and gentlemen. When we come back, we got a little bit more. Get you prepared for AEW Dynamite tonight, and we head into the weekend. TNA Wrestling, we told you, they had the biggest draw this past weekend. Biggest draw this past weekend. We'll talk more wrestling wrap up for you in just a few moments.
Shenlong Performing Arts invites you to travel to the magic world of ancient China. Experience a lost culture brought to life with incredible classical Chinese dance, magic, and soul-stirring music. Shenlong. Coming to River Center.
Hey, where are you going down, folks?
January 23rd only. Tickets at shenlong.com/Columbus-GA. That's SHENYUN.com/Columbus-GA.
Moving is a big decision. Selling or buying a home in any market, but especially today's, can raise a lot of questions. Hi, I'm Amy with Killingsworth Realty. My husband Todd and I serve the Coweta and local area. Our purpose at our first meeting is to learn your goals, answer questions, and provide resources so that you can make the best decision for you and your family. 678-525-0047 to schedule a free consultation today to discuss your real estate needs. You don't have to do this alone.
Hello, I'm Pina Payne with Contour Mortgage, and we're so excited we have just moved to this new company. And we are located at 560 Noonan Crossing Bypass and in the next to Art and Jake's. And we have some great products. Our interest rates are better than any other company. And we also have some great products for the VA. We can do a better deal for you with fees than any other company. We have a lot of different kind of programs.
The House of Light brings clarity to your soul, offering a safe space for healing through our compassionate practitioners, services, classes, and wisdom, plus the tools to support you in our retail space.
What is good? 99.1 WQEE The Key. We got the hottest new show coming to you live, the Jet Stream. Tune in every Saturday on your 9 a.m. morning drive.
Hello, everyone. This is DJ Commando of a 45's Affair radio show, where I play all vinyl 45s. You're listening to WQEE 99.1 FM, Noonan, Georgia.
Oh, yeah, here we go. Are you ready? I'm ready to hear this song. Roll. Little AJ style background. Here we go. It's about 10 minutes away from the top of the hour. 13 degrees out there. Beautiful sunny skies. Happy temperature brought to you by Active Pest Control. All right, welcome back to the RyanORadio Penitentiary. Let's jump into a couple more newsworthy notes that's coming up for you. Former WWE ECW star Sabu says he wants to have one more match, a retirement match, a standout match. He's ready for that. He talked about his uncle, the Iron Sheik, or the Sheik, I should say, not the Iron Sheik, but the Sheik, on a recent podcast of Briscoe and Bradshaw, Stories with Briscoe and Bradshaw. That is JBL along with, of course, one of the Briscoe brothers and everything. Teddy Hart is going to court this week to face drug charges. He'll have his day in court. We'll see what's going on with him. WWE is working on something for the Wyatt's family, the Wyatt Project, over the last week with Bo Dallas, the real-life brother of Bray Wyatt. And, you know, it's in Pittsburgh. I think it's going to be behind the scenes of Bray Wyatt. Also, ladies and gentlemen, a couple other newsworthy notes. TNA is expanding in 2024. They already working with AAA down in Mexico and crossing over. And TNA Wrestling is announcing a partnership with Star Times in Africa to provide their content in that area. TNA is going worldly, buddy. Going worldly. Eric Bischoff on a recent podcast of 83 weeks, said that Jim Ross should be the Hulk Hogan of announcers for AEW. Make him an attraction and make him come out during special events and everything. I agree. Bischoff knows what he's talking about. But Tony Khan is the man with the money behind the scenes. And as long as you work for Tony Khan, you're probably going to take up for him. And I'm not going to say anything because he's paying for your family. Hey, come on, take up for him. But WWE Hall of Famer Kevin Nash, Big Sexy, the former Diesel, clicked this podcast this week. He talks about Tony Khan, talking about Hook, 28-1 record, AEW, which Hook will be wrestling tonight, comparing him to Jinder Mahal, who hasn't won a match in a year. He said, well, if this is what Kevin Nash said, he said, if Hook was sitting right next to me, I wouldn't know who he was. Give him the Hook. So let's just say it's 28-1 career record. That sounds like back in the day what they were doing with the Goldberg thing. It's like, he didn't really win 28 matches of his own accordance, right? But my whole thing is Q ratings. If you're putting a picture of Jinder and then you put a picture of Hook, I'm quite sure I know who Jinder is, and he's on a higher level. He said, tomorrow on TBS, we'll enjoy it because you guys might not be on much longer. Whoa, that's what he said. Kevin Nash is saying they may not be on much longer. Kevin Nash said Vince McMahon originally wanted Scott Hall to have a Marine character. But Scott, he said, did you see Scar? Scott was like, do you see Scarface? And he says, what? He said, I'm thinking about doing this. And then Vince loved it when he did it. Nash on why he didn't go on Chris Jericho's cruise. He said, I was booked to go on the first one. Actually booked to do the first one and slowly become very AEW dominant in that group. And my loyalties run with the WWE because Kevin Nash is friends with the one, the only Triple H. Of course it is. One of his best friends is Triple H. And there you go. Let's take a look at tonight's wrestling show that Kevin Nash says is going to be on there very limited. I don't know what that means. Does that mean that AEW is coming off of TBS and Warner Bros.? I don't know. AEW tonight, TBS. Started at 8 o'clock. TNT title match as Christian Cage and his crew. And he defends the title against the Natural. So, in a 6-man tag team match, tag team titles, the Mogul Embassy will defend their titles against the Bullet Club Gold, turning Bullet Club Gold good as they start to hook up with the Acclaim. Everybody loves the Acclaim. Also, the Young Bucks will address Sting, Darby Allin, and if they want to match with them at the Revolution. AEW World Title on the line. Samoa Joe, the champion, defends against FTW champion Hook, Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, the Hardys, and more for tonight's event. Please, Cassidy, I'm tired of it. He's bored. He is boring. Take the title off of him and put it on Roderick. I know. You're going to defend him because you like him. He might be a nice guy behind the scenes, but, the only guy that's one of the pillars of that company is Darby Allin, and he's took a lot of losses from the major stars, which made him look good. So Darby Allin, I'm behind him. I hope he's been the TNT champion, but I hope he gets some title shots down the road, some more other title shots, international title shots and everything. Once Sting is retired, I know that rub is going to push him the right way and everything. And Darby Allin has lost to some major men, CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, Sting. He tagged it with Sting. He's other people. He's lost to major stars. It's called respect. You don't see him suffering, do you? Fans still love Darby Allin. He lost to Christian Cage. You don't see him suffering, do you, Jungle Boy Jack Perry? Do you see him suffering there, Orange Cassidy? No. All right. Back in a moment, ladies and gentlemen, top of the hour, Randy Rocket Cody joins us. We're going to talk about Motley Crue news. We got some Motley Crue news for you, dedicating the morning to his mom who just passed away. And we're going to talk about the list. The list that he's been giving you for years is an actual list that's out there that the other journalists or so-called journalists are talking about. And the conspiracy nuts are going crazy because everybody they wanted on there was not on the list. Why is Obama on there? I want him on there. Why is so-and-so on there? No, so-and-so not on there. This is the list. We're going to ask him if these people are going to be charged too. Because since he's a journalist, he knows more. He's been studying it. Back in a moment, ladies and gentlemen, Randy Rocky Cody joins us in the next period.
I am Apostle Deborah Harris, Pastor Apostle of Kingdom Connected Ministries International at 121 Hillwood Circle, Noonan, Georgia. Presenting Connecting the Kingdom. Connecting kingdom citizens, kingdom businesses, and advancing the kingdom of God in this hour. Join us each Tuesday at 10 o'clock a.m. with guests who are sharing their faith, business, and ministry.
This is Austin Black, and I am the host of Behind the Tunes. Have you ever wondered about the stories behind your favorite songs and the journeys of those that sing them? Well, each week, we invite you to go behind the tunes and step into the stories behind your favorite Christian artists that shape the landscape of today's music.
Hey sports fans, it's Rod Peterson here, host of the Rod Peterson Show, inviting you to join us daily for 2 hours of Atlanta's funnest sports talk right here on WQEE. I say fun because it is. You've never heard a show like it because we make the listeners a part of the show every day between noon and 2 p.m. Eastern. You'll hear plenty of the best sports talk, including the latest on the Falcons, the Braves, and more. And who knows, you might even hear you. That's the Rod Peterson Show, daily at noon, right here on WQEE 99.1 FM.
Hey, sports fans, weekdays 3 p.m.
Oh, shit, I gotta
Eastern
get
to
the
5
river
p.m.
dragon.
Eastern. Drive time on WQEE. Braves Country is a Southern sports talk show with Mac McGee and the Armchair Quarterbacks. That's Braves Country with Mac McGee and the Armchair Quarterbacks. Weekdays 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. right here on WQEE 99.1 FM.
Sunday, January 28th, Hollywood Haley J is coming to Memphis Wrestling. Plus, the return of James Ellsworth. Get your tickets right now at memphiswrestling.tv.
You can check out WQEE, and WQMK TV 18 from Memphis Wrestling.
Microsoft is offering its Copilot AI virtual assistant to small businesses. Silvana Anau reports.
Consumers who pay for Microsoft 365 can also sign up for a paid version of Copilot for $3 a month. The moves will help Microsoft expose more customers to generative AI, which has exploded last year. Now, the paid version will let people use Copilot in Word, Excel, Outlook, and other apps. Previously, the free version only let you use Copilot in the Bing search engine.
Congress is announcing a bipartisan deal to expand the child tax credit and create a series of tax breaks for businesses.
Ohio Senator Sherrod Brown says in a statement it is a win for families and manufacturers across the Buckeye State. He is encouraging the quick passage of a bipartisan tax bill just announced by members of Congress. Included in the deal is an expansion of the child tax credit to help families struggling.
WQEE Radio. Hey, brother, how's it going?
Man, how you doing?
I am doing good for a Wednesday morning. Just got a little cold weather in here, so don't like that. But other than that, man, it's all good, bro. I know. It's all good. We're all good, though. I'm ecstatic. Well, brother, I'm so happy for all the stuff that's going on for TMD.
Oh, thank you, brother.
I'm so happy for you. Proud for you, man.
Oh, thank you, brother. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
You're very welcome. You worked hard for it, brother, and you got it. And
Yeah, I got it.
well, dude, the funniest thing about it is I know that that's your main thing is the music industry. But then when you started doing these other news stories, outside of the music industry that you were doing to, go along with that you really probably didn't care to do. You get out there and you find out something that's going on, and you for several years you done gave the details of the Epstein's list, and the exact people on those lists came out a few weeks ago, and everybody else has been speculating because of people they don't like. But everybody on there, and it didn't matter whether they were Republican or Democrat. You just named them. You didn't care.
Yeah. I have to back those songs because right now it really is in terms of everything related to this situation. It's just there's not enough. There's nothing there for So in terms of Trump, I back off of him and have focus more on really the people that legitimately were around that situation.
Yeah.
And that's the Clintons, and that's all these different people, different angles. And so definitely, I think that it's important to put everybody on blast.
Well, brother, when I started talking about it, when this first came up in the week I was talking about it on my show, every day that I pulled it up, of course, I, had my disclaimer. I was like, nobody's been accused of any wrongdoing except for the prince. I said, and then also, right before I started talking about it, I said, I just want to remind you guys that Randy Cody, my buddy who's been on the show a number of times, he gave this list out for years. So just want to let you guys know that wherever you heard this list was heard first through him. And then I went ahead and did the news story. I always gave you credit when I first started talking about it, brother, every day that I talked about it, because
thank you, brother. I put that report that I just put up on 3rd of this month, January, about the whole Epstein list thing related to bank and everything.
Yep.
Got over 110,000, 100,000 on Twitter that were paying, but still responding. Thank you.
Well, it definitely is. There people are going and saying, wait a minute. They're kind of putting you got the puzzle pieces together, reading your story, and the what was released to the nation, the national media is clicking together compared to what some conspiracy nut online is saying, because it's all the people on my side I like, and everybody on the other side is the bad guys. And the thing about it is you didn't pick any of that. And when everybody keeps telling me, well, I'm surprised so-and-so's on there, I'll be honest with you, Randy, I was not surprised any of those people's names were on there.
No.
I wasn't. Not after you and I have been talking for years.
There's still things moving and from reputation somehow, but giving us a little bit more down the bump now to sort of start to make things out and trying to bring the justice. So
right.
We're gonna see what happens,
Yeah. Well, we'll get into all that and everything, and we'll dedicate this hour to your mom and all that stuff, bro. I'm sorry to hear about that.
Thank you, brother.
No problem, man. So we're gonna call her Mother Rocket.
Yeah, we'll talk about that funny story about all I think about, every family gives their good dad, but my mom was very responsible and loved the laugh, loved that practical joke. She loved, we walked out, I played stickball with friends and try to have fun with it, walk out, holding my family. So they had that to the kids.
Right.
All the kids start laughing at me and stuff.
I tell you, brother. So it's going to be a good one this hour. We're going to get ready to go on here in just a moment. Got a couple more spots and we're going on. And maybe you can get a little bit closer to the microphone or a little closer to the phone, because you kind of going in and out.
How me sound now? Is better?
You sound better now. Yeah. Go ahead and talk some more and let me make sure. Yes.
To the,
Yep. You sound a lot better. Yep, brother. Cool. I just want to make sure when we get it out there, we get everything out there. It sounds good for us.
It sounds good, brother.
Yeah. Woo! Can't wait to talk about this Motley Crue stuff. And it's good.
I tell you what, for me, this is a victory parade, a victory hour for me, and sharing it with your audience, and sharing it with you is the real pleasure. You deserve it. The audience deserves it. I know that they're a big part of my success.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those people. I mean, look, man. Straight up. I mean, after I last was on your show, you know, I know I was on it last in November, but you know, I'd taken about a 6-month break before that.
Right.
Dude, I was really just trying to take a break from everything and kind of slow down things.
Oh, I know.
You know, and I'm coming up on doing 20 years of this stuff, and I tell you what, man, it just, you know, it's like the Godfather, you know, pulled me back in, and I planned 40 million impressions the last 4 months of the year on Facebook to go over 100 million.
Wow.
Just on Facebook, dude. So I was accepted into the Meta program, Meta, and my business page for the Metal Den was accepted and invited into the bonus program.
Right.
So that I'm paid now for my impressions.
Yes. Woohoo! All right, brother. I can't wait to get on and talk about this. We're about to go on here in a moment. So here we go.
All right.
Welcome back into the final period of play on this weird Wednesday. It's not so weird, though. We got a lot of action for you this hour, and we're going to be doing this with our good friend Randy Rocket Cody this morning. That's coming up in just a few moments. Stay with us. We'll be talking Motley Crue news, the list, and more. So stay right there. You're tuned in to the RyanORadio Penitentiary. Who am I? Of course, I'm Ryan O'Neill, the host of the RyanORadio Penitentiary. And of course, yes, I am the game. 50,000 plus of you worldwide on the Shoutcast. Shout it out loud. Across the RyanORadio media page. Oh, of course, you gotta know this. We are there. No, for some reason, it's working perfectly since I've been on my own. Across the Earth Rock Radio, New Mexico, Arizona, and the Navajo Nation. We're across the British Columbia, Isles of Canada, East Alabama, and of course, West Georgia. And that's 99.1 FM on your radio dial, WQEE in Atlanta. We're the heartbeat of Atlanta. We're live all day. We appreciate you. The Straight Edge Independent Skeptic is right here with you, getting it on and talking about some things you need to know. Anna Marie, yes, take up close. You're going to get to hear it. It's coming up next. And to my haters, I got one thing to say to you. Listen up, haters. That's right. Whether they like it or not, I am the man around here. And speaking of the man around here, I am welcoming into the studios my guest from the MetalDen.com. That's right. He is the king of all metal journalism. He's the king of real journalism. I call him a real journalist. And the king of kings. Please welcome Randy Rocket Cody. Good morning, Randy.
Hey, bro. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. How about you, my friend?
I'm doing really great. I'm glad to be here and talk with y'all today.
Glad to have you with us as well, my brother. And I hope everything's been going well. Holidays went well. Hope you got everything you wanted for Christmas and more. I know one thing you got for Christmas is what's going on with TMD, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Before we get into the interview and everything, how was your holidays?
Well, you know, it's just been real busy. You know, I did not expect for things to start going off as much as it has for the Metal Den. I was going to try to slow down things last half of last year because I'm coming up on 20 years of doing it. And,
right.
it didn't allow me to do that. I mean, I ended up getting busier than ever. I did 40 million impressions on TV Facebook to close out the year the last 4 months. I don't know how to explain it. It just, I closed out at over 100 million for the year. I was accepted into Facebook Meta program, my business page for the metal band. So that's an invite-only program.
Right.
And I'm getting paid now for my impressions. So I've been getting paid real well because of that. I'm very thankful.
Well, I'm glad for you, brother. And you know what? I know why all of this is happening, because you're a real honest journalist. You actually do journalism like it's supposed to, even though some of these people are in the music industry or your favorite bands you grew up watching and listening. You don't pull any punches. You go ahead and still tell the truth about them. Just because you sit there and listen to their albums over and over don't mean, well, I'm just going to let them get away with things. And that's the thing I like about it. And that's what all the stuff that we're going to talk about this morning. You pull no punches, brother. You actually are a real journalist. You don't pick a side. You do what you got to do. And the biggest thing is talking about Motley Crue. I know that's one of your favorite bands. You grew up. And man, you have been nothing but what's going on in the crew camp, and we're going to get into that right now. Let's get into it. You've been all over the place covering Motley Crue's tours, Mick Mars's lawsuit with his former band. You also have been doing an amazing job single-handedly promoting Mick's brand new debut album. How did you get the jump ahead of everyone, including Eddie Trunk, on this?
Well, I just know it's small things. I'm not make it sound bigger than it really is. A lot of it is luck. I mean, I just have a real good knack for being in the right place at the right time.
Right.
With Mick Mars, it's been one of those things where I thought that, look, I'm going to try and help Mick, push his debut solo and be someone that's, able to help push that music at TV site, and it's worked out real well. Everything I told you all from the start, through, and point by point, every single thing. And I've had to jump on everybody on it. A lot of people think that I've worked for Mick or that I'm his bastard son.
Right.
But it's really what happened with his. Really, the most proudest is late to Mick. His single was released back on last Halloween. That was a big day. It's probably one of the biggest days for TNT history because of what I was able to pull off. I was able to get the jump on the actual release date for the album on that day.
Right.
I had it going into from the day previous. I got my hands on information, and I was able to. I was the first guy to drop that. Trump didn't even announce it. It was not anywhere out the day that single was being dropped. And that is, in terms of promotion, that has to be done. You're promoting.
Right.
You have to have that eyeball that are going to be listening to that music. You have to have that information out there. So thankfully, I got every other metal site, rock outfit, radio, they all got information. So had I not put that out the way that I did, you wouldn't have had the pre-order stuff going on. You see all the numbers going on, and we got over 600,000 views on that first single drop on the YouTube. So it's just massive. I can only imagine what the pre-orders are looking like for him on that, and that's probably what I'm the most proudest of, because it's the business, it's the rock whole business.
Yes.
You have to have that information, have to go out at the same time, so the people that are getting hyped on it can pre-order the album, right? They know when it's coming out. Everybody said you're full of it. He's not going to release this album. I was taking a lot of heat on my
I remember.
From fans and telling me that thing's never going to come out. And then boom, it's like everything just kind of fell into place. So it was just really I think that's why the response is huge for the metal. Know that, look, I've got the goods. I'm going to give you all the news when you need to get it, and everybody else follows and copy paste my stuff on the site,
Well, you know what? Before we find out the release date and the full release and everything, I do want to bring up that one of the guys that's singing on this album is going to probably be with Mick on tour if they do it. Is a singer out of Birmingham, Alabama, and I know the kid, and the kid has been in the music industry for years, young. Probably all the girls are going to love him. You know who I'm talking about.
Jacob,
Yep. And
there's two singers on the album.
right.
The second one's Brian Gamboa.
Mm-hmm.
He was on Starter back in the day.
Right.
He's got statistics there. But of course, yeah, he's only done 2 songs, Brian. But I can't believe it now. I mean, everybody that's a who's who in heavy metal has been brought by the TMZ Facebook page and interact. I've never seen that before and ever. I'm talking about, Carmine Pete is a regular on there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about the singer Queen Strike Todd dropped by.
Ooh.
I'm talking about Brian Gamboa himself.
Whoa.
For becoming the biggest metal news site. For him to take rap, that was like, wow. And just the other day, day before yesterday, Mr. Vince Neil himself put a love on one of his Motley Crue posts.
Wow. Well, you know what? Pretty soon, Randy, you're going to have to hire a full staff to be journalists to going out there and interviewing all of these rock stars, because they're going to be like, look, we want interviews with you. You're going to be like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to hire some people because I'm going to sit here and watch my nice big screen TV and enjoy my life and everything. What can fans expect from Mick Mars' full-length album, which is going to be released on February 23rd?
Well, I think that anybody heard those first couple of songs so far that have released, it's going to be awesome. I mean, the reaction to real songs, they're really good songs. They're not AI composed. It's the genuine real deal. It's Mick throwing it down with the guitar, and he's just brilliant. And a lot of people don't the thing that has been put on Mick is that he was too inactive as a member of the Motley Crue. But what you're all going to find out now with this lawsuit and a lot of the dirt coming out is that Mick has been very active, working with other bands,
Mm-hmm.
guesting, featuring on songs for different bands over the years. And I put a list on the TV Facebook. I wanted to post about it. So if anybody just wants to get more in depth, I mean, you're not going to find more the in-depth details on this stuff than TMZ, because I've done all the homework. I had fans in the comment section ask, say, hey, what keeps on this song? And we make sure we put on there and update it. So it's a really great interaction with the fans to really support Mick and show everybody, look, he's not like Nikki Sixx saying, this old evil guy doesn't contribute at all to rock music anymore. That's just not true. And I think that this is a great thing with his album dropping here soon.
I'm excited.
It's going to be, I think, a real big statement. And I think it really puts those other guys in Motley Crue in a bad light.
It does, man. And I tell you what, I can't wait for it to come out. I'm definitely going to be one of the frontline people getting this, because I've always been a Mick Mars fan. I always felt like Mick Mars is Motley Crue, even before movies come out and all that kind of stuff that showcased Mick being the man to come up with the name. I always felt like he was Motley Crue. It's just always been that way. Well, what's going on with Motley Crue? They're canceling new shows in the new year. Now they're booking a gig in North Dakota at a state fair. Seems like some of your negative press on the Crue is getting busted and using backing tracks has really made an impact on them. And they're supposed to make some kind of big announcement today. Any idea on what that announcement will be, Randy?
Well, I think that it's got to be one of 3 things.
Okay.
One of 4 things, I'll say. One of 4 things. It could be either a new song that they're going to try and show off to kind of battle back against Mick. And it has to be an original song. Don't want to hear a cover, Mickey. Or it's going to be an actual album announcement.
Right.
New album announcement, which has been 16 years we've been waiting for a new album for these guys. It could be one of those 2, or they're gonna announce. They've only got a handful Their New Year's gig, apparently due to poor ticket sales, they just booked a gig on July 19th at the North Dakota State Fair.
Wow.
So the four things, they retired. They announced they retired. So pick one of those four things. I would highly suggest they pick the fourth thing and bow out great. Because, you know, how much worse can this get? I mean, I have taken them down the road that I didn't even want to take them down.
Right.
So this one, I certainly did not.
Right.
But when you give me that much opportunity, and I was able to pack Tommy Lee State drumming towards the end of that stadium tour, that was the device in the history of the metal band, because that story of 550,000 impressions on TV Facebook, but once it was stolen by the media, on all the other sites out there, without even giving me credit, it went over 11.
That's right. That's right.
I was able to, I put out an article on that as well on TV site,
Right.
how that, you know, I have a timestamp, but when I put mine out, it was the same thing as when I announced that it was out, right? And everyone said, "You're full of it, Rocky. You're just
Yeah.
And then 11 days later, after I gave the actual double down on who the main source was that said Nick was out, then Nicky and Kovac went to Variety, and okay, we're going to admit that, you know, this kid, right, he's out. You know, they had just started announcing at that point the ticket sales during last year, right?
Right.
So he waited that 11 days so that they could get tickets sold.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, I remember that. And yeah, I mean,
So, you know, I've had
a major impact.
Run a bus with it and being in the right place, right time, getting things out when I need to get them out, so that, you know, everything in the media is it's a powder keg. You know, people do try to do what I do and see these other metal sites out there, and they'll have extra posts with the sponsored posts.
Right.
Okay, that means they're paying for people to read their.
And that's the thing.
So that's a big difference between what I do. I do nothing but organic. I don't pay advertising. So,
right.
You know, I've been banned and demonetized over the years.
Oh, I know.
Different platforms. I was only recently let back on after a 14-month ban on Twitter.
I know.
Right? So I've had a real hell of a time. No, I haven't really had much success with any of these platforms in terms of being able to grow an audience. I've always been able to thrive by using the other
right.
sites to find new stuff, right? And it's going on their social page. But luckily things have kind of you know, it turned around on the Facebook for sure. They let me back on the Twitter, but with the Facebook, it was just one of those things. Like I said, I mean, I haven't had much of a time over to even build up an audience. I only have, like, you know, even at this point, even at 7,000 followers right now, 7,100 followers, that's nothing. I mean,
right.
There's sites out there with you know, 500,000, a million followers.
Yeah.
And they're not getting any traffic or any kind of good looking.
That's true.
That's because they paid for the advertising.
Exactly.
And it was cheaper to do it. So you built up this huge audience, but nobody. It's not an organic response.
Exactly.
So I was able, bro. I've been able. I have one of my posts about this Tommy D, the secret site that was revealed from the court doc.
Right.
With Nick Mars, that some of the members of Motley Crue are involved in the secret site.
Exactly.
And that post is it just passed 4 million organic impressions.
And that's what's awesome about it, brother. And that's why I'm so proud of what's going on, that you actually worked to get it and you didn't pay. And it's what I tell people. A lot of people pay on these sites, whether it's Meta, whether it's YouTube or whatever, to try to get ahead instead of like building their real audience like you did. Let's talk about, before we take a break, we're going to take a break after we talk about this. What are some of the other stories fans can find right now if they visit the metalden.com site? Any other good dirt going on today?
Well, I want to say that James Kovac that passed away from a popular Scorpion that he comes from.
Yeah, the drummer. Yep.
Yeah, he passed away last Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Age 61. believe it was 40 days, 38 or 40 days or something.
Right.
He was able to stay sober and finally won the battle. So, rest in peace to James. Your memory's going to live on and that's for the fact that really that you won that battle, bro. And I think that's something a lot of people out there learn from. Now, the other story, Vince Neil appeared himself drunk and disoriented while performing at his solo gig back on the 12th at Hard Rock High School, Oklahoma. There's some video you can check out on the Post TV site where he looks like just completely out of it. His rambling singing style,
Right.
It sputters so out of control. I don't know how more they can go like this. I think that's going to be a part of what we're going to see here in the future, whether he gets replaced or not, or if the band decides to go ahead and retire again. We're going to see. We're going to see what happens. I mean, I hope that they put out some new music. That Dickie Six said that that he had his full album already complete last year. Well, now you've got Tommy Lee and Don Fife saying, no, we've only got 3 songs in the can. So, we're going to see where this is at today. We're going to find out.
We'll find out. And you know what? I do want to jump into this because of the stuff that's going on in the other part of heavy metal. And one thing, I'm hearing that Kerry King's got a project coming up and Phil might be a part of it. Have you heard any truth to that? Is that just something that is wishful thinking for fans out there, or is Kerry King really putting a project together?
Yeah, well, that's the big story out there too. Kerry has not announced who the singer is yet, but the speculation, rumor is that it is Phil Anselmo from Pantera fame. Kerry said that this is going to be a follow-up to the Penitentiary.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna, like I told people, Kerry's not gonna have learned how to play the guitar all over, to learn a different style, right?
Right.
He's gonna play the same style of music he's been playing with Slayer all the time. So it's gonna be a continuation of Slayer.
Okay.
Just under a different name and with different guys in the band with Kerry and the singer everyone's hoping it to be would be Phil Anselmo because I just think a lot of people think that's like the dream band, to have Kerry and Phil together. But we'll see what happens. They've announced that Down is going to start working on some new material.
Yep, I've been watching that.
That's been a long time coming, and of course, you've got starting up here in February. Pantera's going back out to tour.
Right.
Certain states, so it's going to be a real busy year. But we'll see what happens with that. I'm really hoping somebody like that, because as opposed to somebody not a known name, because this makes it more fun, exciting when it's somebody that like that
I agree with you. I can't wait to hear that. And before we go to break, you were talking about Down, and one thing that I did hear from the camp there, because I'm friends with Kirk and some of the guys there in Crowbar. Down is working. They're getting ready to go. And I think there's going to be another tour because they're working on some new stuff. So I'm hearing in the background, and I'm ready for it because to me, Down is kind of that southern metals. And I love that kind of metal type stuff being here from the South. So I'm ready for it, brother. I'm ready for them to have something new. And
Crowbar is a fantastic band too. That doomy kind of sound.
Yes.
Or slow, downtrodden kind of, but people, I love it. It's not some people up in team because like faster metal. But I love anything that's got a real mood to it and able to evoke that those types of mood within that music.
Yes.
I think that's the cool thing. I always love it.
Well, I love putting. I'm a variety guy. I love putting a little blues with punk rock and heavy metal and thrash to form a band, and that's kind of what most of those bands in New Orleans are and everything. So Crowbar, of course, can't wait for Down, and well, this Kerry King band. I'm hoping that they'll bring a bass player and a drummer. Do you think will Kerry bring a second guitarist in? Is that going to be any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I that would be probably a smart thing to do. I mean, that would help with big, Slayer,
Yeah.
the Hope, right? When they had Jeff.
Yep.
And, I mean, when you can have two guys doing soloing, one playing the rhythm while the other one's soloing, and then they fade off, and, like what they did to Judas Priest. So, yeah, I hope there is a second part.
I do too. Well, we're going to take a break, come back. We're going to talk about The List with Randy Rocket Cody from themetalden.com. We'll get into that after the break. So stay with us. More on the way on this edition of the RyanORadio Penitentiary. 31 minutes past the hour. It's still about 13 degrees out there. Back in a moment, more RyanORadio Penitentiary. You guys are in lockdown on the YouTube and everywhere too. All right, bro. We're at break. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm hoping they do that. I'm ready for to have a second guitarist and ready for Kerry to do that, man. But I'm hearing so many good things about the Down album right now because I got a buddy of mine that lives there.
They got the cool thing is that as far as I understand, Pepper's in it. So Pepper's in it. And
Pepper's back. Yep.
Like that's down.
Pepper's always been that blues-based rock metal guitarist and everything, man. I always just loved his.
Oh, I'm a big
COC, man.
I'm a COC fan with nobody else. Some of the other people were, in terms of where I was from.
I know, man. I've been a fan of theirs for a long time.
I'm a real big fan. So I talk about that punk kind of.
Yep.
So he's been there and so
Well, I liked it when he took over as vocals. To me, they had two different. When their lead vocalist left, they had two different sounds. When Pepper started singing, compared to the original sound, and I love the original sound, and I love the sound with Pepper. To me, it was like two different bands, but it's still one great band.
Yeah, it was like once they got Pepper, man, it was like, wow, they went from here to there.
Yep.
Boom. It was like they're now how do you like it? It's like this is a band that contends. So I've always done what they got in.
Definitely so, man. I'm really excited. I'm really excited. I mean, Down was one of the first bands when they came out together. I was like, whoa. And I had that first album. I was like, whoa. I was like, this is nothing like any of their other bands, but it's similar, but it's not similar. And I always loved it because Jimmy Bowen is a great drummer, great guitar player and everything too, but great rhythm player too.
I've interviewed Timmy, and I've interviewed some of the guys from COC. I haven't got Pepper yet. Maybe I'll get Pepper next time around. But I did. I've got Phil twice. I've interviewed him twice.
Well, I'm sure Pepper will come up. I'm sure you get all of them, man. Kurt.
I'll try my best. I try to, but it is like him with it, and things take me other places. Some days, you go in one direction, you don't come back.
Right.
This Motley Crue stuff has just been kind of, for me, it's just kind of taken on a life of its own, and so I just kind of, just kind of went with it. Now things have gotten so big with it. It's a story that's still going. We're still going to the court battle. Still,
right.
For the music to drop from Nick and mostly Motley Crue. So people would tell me, "Oh, all you do is report on Motley Crue." It's like, well, this is the biggest, rock and roll.
Dude, it is.
This is the big. Everybody's waiting for years. I mean, like I said, 16 years they've been waiting for new Motley Crue.
Yeah, so, it's true, man.
And these guys, they weren't supposed to come back.
Right.
2016, 2017. I put out a post in 2017 about the Biggie off.
Right.
That they all lost their minds on, and Biggie completely blew up and really ripped the head off the chick that I used to put the host down in cage.
Right. All right, brother, we're getting ready to come back. Here we go. All right, no problem. Welcome back into RyanORadio Penitentiary. 37 minutes past the hour. We still have Randy Rocket Cody from the metalden.com with us this morning. And we were talking all rock and roll, all heavy metal, all Motley Crue, everything, all these favorite bands of ours. Now it's time for us to dive deeper into something that's connected to one of our favorite singers of all times, Chris Cornell. And we're going to talk a little bit about the list, ladies and gentlemen, the list that this man has on the last 4 or 5 years been with us speaking about on this show. But prior to that, doing this, I just want everybody to know that list that you guys got from the national news media was a list that Randy has always been putting out. So let's get into this morning. I just want to put that out. Also, disclaimer, I know, got to put this out here. A lot of people have not been accused of any wrongdoings. Okay, we'll put that out there so that I don't get in any trouble. But okay, let's talk about your latest hashtag Truth for Chris report that fans can read at TMD's site about the Epstein's client list. What is the title, and what can you tell us about it, Randy?
Yeah, the title, Jeffrey Epstein's client list, how it connects to Chris Cornell, Stephen Banks, and being murdered. It's pretty much, I told indictment on all these and people that around these supermodels like Tyson Boom and all these other types of supermodels that hang out at these parties where this one of the victims said he was being forced to have sex with these men at these parties. Tommy Lee from Motley Crue. So there's a lot of other people that have like friends' names that have begun to come into the light since this song started to develop, that it's not necessarily not put out there in by me or anybody else.
Right.
Has been divulged in this big drop on the Epstein client. So, it's just, this is, as I said, it goes back to all the work I was back in 2017. Told everybody that Chris Cornell, just from the standpoint of his body in that hotel room after his show, suffering all those injuries that he suffered, is complete foul play, red flags up in the air. Something is not right. And look, now, have you seen anybody come forward and legitimately be able to debunk my word?
Nope. That's what I'm saying. Nope.
Have you seen anybody come forward and go toe to toe with me and debate online?
I can say nope. Nope. They didn't.
Nobody will say. So, I do need, I've done probably, I don't know, interviews with, this is my 5th year with you.
Yep.
I've done probably 68, maybe 100 of these shows with you.
Right.
I've done another 100, 150 interviews all around the world since 2017. I was interviewed in Romania, the home of Dracula.
Right.
I've been interviewed in Switzerland. I was interviewed by the Detroit News about this. We put in the newspaper, the actual circulated newspaper all around Detroit, not just online.
Right.
So, we're talking, I've done a lot of work on that and how that really connects to the Stephen Banks situation with John Podesta.
Right.
Because what you believe that Stephen Banks is the birth of my biological son.
Oh, I believe it.
John Podesta. I've been able to provide evidence that that's really a moot point because there is a connection between Lincoln Park Band and John Podesta through the Peace for All global initiative. The band was used by Podesta and his camp to put that out on their social media, as well as sort of a grant given to the band. It's all connected to Clinton Foundation.
There you go.
The hate and these kids working this is something I think a lot of people start realizing. Tunnels underground being used.
True.
was a very real thing that people are starting to realize. But yeah, they're starting to find out, now with even the Playboy man can have tunnels under it.
Exactly. A part of all of this is Victoria's Secret's owner. His name is on this list, and he was providing outfits and stuff. Yeah. So.
Flavio Briatore,
Mm-hmm.
who needs to be mentioned because he's the pal of Epstein as well. He was under all sorts of different race cars.
True.
Related to car driving, because he's a race car guy, and he was with these different super models, icons, and the other girl, African American, famous African American supermodel.
Right. Naomi Campbell.
He was both of them. Both of them. Naomi Campbell is the one who held the party that Tommy Lee was at.
Right.
And so, I think a lot of these different names, people need to look at and understand that, it's a much wider net than what's being led, for us to believe. People involved in this.
Mm-hmm.
It reaches out, the tentacles reach out into the everyday population of teachers, police officers, principals, schools, people that, that are in power positions that are, in terms of how the Illuminati works, to hold them in the blackmail.
Right.
So that they continue to push their agenda, they continue politically and
exactly.
Keep everything under wraps, because if they did ever let anything get out, they would basically kill their whole family. So it's like a mafia.
It is. And you know what? We're talking about some of the big names that are in terms of being revealed, but what about the potential chances of bringing charges against those elite who paid for sex slaves with these underage girls, like the Clintons, of course, Prince Andrew, and other names in there like Trump and other big movie star names like Chris Tucker and Leonardo DiCaprio. Do you think any of these people? Go ahead.
As far as Trump goes, I have backed off on Trump because I really just don't have anything there with him. In terms of, I did have a relationship at one point years and years ago with Jeff.
Right.
But ended on a bad note. And in terms of, I have to, as a journalist, as an investigative journalist, I have to go where the fire is.
Right. Yeah.
And the fires are around the Clintons.
As always.
Okay. And so
like you said.
People that need to go missing, people that the Clinton bodies get stacked on top of each other. Related to Jeff Rich, character who was killed. He was part of the reveal of the leak of those pedestrian emails.
Right.
They gave us all those weird pedophile code words and whatnot.
True.
And whatnot. And his to Marina Ramos, who is who is infected as well in all of this satanic shenanigans. So this stuff really ties to this Maxwell, Ghislaine Maxwell, and her father, Robert Maxwell.
Yes.
If any of you have read my reporting on the Chris Cornell matter, the bodyguard that was with Chris, he was last guy, to see Chris alive, he was supposed to be, guarding. I learned that he was connected as well with Assad. So now you've got Vicky Cornell and
yes.
her involvement with Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp, as I told you, had started a club out in Paris, France, which is the same area that the high-crime suspect, the Black Dahlia murder in 1947.
That's true.
Was allowed to go see. His name was Man Ray. He was not questioned by LAPD, even though he was right in the same general area. LAPD will still not release that black book in the Black Dahlia case that has these powerful players that really, believe it or not, is from 1947.
I believe it.
Next to this day, to the modern day.
I believe it.
Pedophile deal with Epstein. So, what was the name of the club that Depp and Vicky Cornell her being the publicist for the bar there in Paris, France. What was the name of the bar?
I think it had something to do with Man Ray or something.
The name of the bar was Man Ray. And so Man Ray was a famous artist, kind of abstract type of artist. And a lot of the art, if you Google it, Man Ray, it's decapitated women, cut in half, black and white, really surrealistic photos. It's real creepy. And so I had found out that George Hodel, Steve Hodel's guys been going around saying that my dad is the, is the one who did it, Black Diamond murder.
Yeah, I remember that.
I found out actually that Man Ray was very close friends with him, with George Hodel. And he actually friended him a pendant that he had crafted. He had made himself that was had the all-seeing eye on it, and it's a little pendant, like a green pendant with that all-seeing eye on it, that he gifted to Hodel. And the name of that pendant is the Oculus. That is a very important thing to understand because that's a very powerful secret society that's related to the higher up.
Right. Well, you know what? This is the thing about this is, like I said, several years you've been with me on the show talking about this, and finally we can talk about it without worrying about them trying to shut this down and everything because it's out in the public now. And even though I didn't worry about it then, it's just that they were doing things to keep the shows from being listened to, except for online. So now I'm kind of excited that we're able to get this news out. I'm letting everybody know you were the first one to present this news. Now the national media is saying the same thing that you've been saying for years. And to me, it shows that your work and the hard work you've been doing, my brother, along with TMD and everything, is finally coming to fruition, and you getting what you deserve. And I do appreciate you as well, and I love hearing that you're able to bring this news, and we're able to bring this news and talk about it. And now finally they're going to, well, and I'm hoping that the mainstream media finally realize, okay, we need to send old Rocket some money because he's the one that's been for the last up 10 years been talking about this, and now all of a sudden we've got the list that he's had, and they're like, well, Scratch, how did he know that? Well, he's a real journalist, ladies and gentlemen, not a conspiracy theorist like some of those guys online that get on here and try to use the gate. This is a real journalist I have with me this morning. I just wanted to let you know that.
I think it's been a lot of work. I put in a lot of hours, a lot of man hours.
Oh, I know. Ask your wife.
Man hours just on Chris Cornell's case. Not even Chester. Chester was just as big within 2 months of it, that 2017. And I never expected it because when I had that April, May prior to that, I had pulled off a couple of hoaxes that were massive in the rock industry related to Metallica.
Right.
I had announced that one that Lady Gaga was going to sing on their next album, and then the other one that Lars was retiring, and this got announced by Plant in England on their actual radio station, and that's Lady Gaga. Tremendous success of two hilarious hosts. Which, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, in my history of the middle, that was the first time I ever decided to do that.
Right.
And boom, had such an explosive stuff. And when all this stuff with Chris Cornell happened right after that, of course no one was going to take it serious. And so it kind of worked in my advantage because it gave me a cover to kind of work behind so that people could, they could take it or leave it as far as,
right.
Really long dissertations that I was writing and really work from a forensic standpoint in Chris's case, which is what a homicide detective is supposed to do. And so, I worked from the body out and told you all now all the details that you all hear about that. The body cool down, it was 2 hours it took to cool down at normal 70-degree temperature at the hotel room.
Right.
That's all scientifically proven.
Exactly.
So it was back that time of death to being on the 18th of May at 1:30 a.m. to 11:30
Well,
on the 17th.
Well, Randy, we got a few more minutes left with you, and I want to do this because this is something special. And of course, this is how Randy has been able to get into the world and learn some of the stuff out there in the world of Hollywood and all the stuff that's going on because of Mother Rocket. Let's talk about your mom, the memory, some of your favorite memories of your mom and her involvement in the music, movie industry, and more.
Yeah, my mom passed away this past week. She was just, mom talked about an interesting character. A lot of people just can't really fathom or understand. When you grow up in LA, you're one of the other kids,
Right.
going to school with anybody else. Growing up in that industry around that area, it's exciting. I love going to movies. I go to Westwood and just, big eyes, looking at everything, think it's the coolest thing ever. And somehow I was right in the middle of my mom was did daycare, big old two-story home on Wake Street in Mar Vista, California, and with the suburb there in Los Angeles, where a little bit more middle class, upper middle class. And
Yes.
my mom, a lot of the people that come into her daycare were Hollywood industry. And so, people that worked in the industry, one of them became my writing mentor, Stu Krieger, who wrote for Spielberg, wrote Land Before Time, and In the Army Now, different screenplays like that. So
Right.
when I was in script reading, I was only 18. My mom introduced me to him and said, my son's a writer. I take one of your wing. And so he would let me come by after high school. I'd stop by after high school to his home and
Right.
let me sit and, pick screenplays off his, off his wall.
Yes.
And just read and just learn and stuff. The best memory I have in front of that is, because I was a real big fan of that movie On Golden Pond as a kid. It came out in 1981.
Right.
And his daughter's Jane Fonda. And my mom told me, as I told you guys before, my mom kept me out of becoming an actor.
Yep.
I was offered major movie roles. I was a really good-looking little redhead kid, and I wanted to be in it.
Right.
I started, had done some commercials, and I was in all the plays at school and whatnot. I was pulled out of Mark Twain Junior High. For
Right.
a movie, I was pulled out of a class to audition for a casting director right there on the spot at school with about 10 other kids standing in a line for a movie called The Wildlife, Chris Kent. And the music, Eddie Van Halen. And I was given the role right then and there. I barely spoke a sentence, and they just all started laughing. And everybody just fell out of line laughing at what I said. And the lady handed me the script, and I went home with it. And when I got home with the script, my mom had a look on her face, And she said, "What have you gotten into now?" I made her take me to an agent one time, and I told her, if I'm going to get it, she said, "Honey, it's very difficult."
Right.
And I was like 10, and I won a Florence Henderson milk commercial.
Right.
I get in the car, and you're not doing that commercial. So the funny thing was that when I got back home with the script, it's like, "What did you do now?"
She was very protected. And then
the next thing, the phone rang, the casting director, and said that they had found somebody else. Now, I know what had happened. The day had already spoken to my mom.
Right.
My mom told him that I wasn't going to be able to do that role and to call me back until they got somebody else for it. That's what they did. So,
yep, I agree.
What happened was 1986. She came up to me and she says, "Hey," she says, "You ready to go out on a date with Jane Fonda?"
What?
Yeah.
Before Ted Turner.
I was 16. I was like, what are you talking about? She goes, I've got you date with Jane Fonda.
Woo!
I said, "Are you kidding?" And she said, he's gonna a friend of my mom, one of the daycare ladies, Denise DuBroy, DuBroy. Google her. She's a famous artist. Her husband was a NBC News reporter, Emmy Award stamp. Her.
Right.
And I used to babysit their little kid Nathan. Well, Denise picked me up and took me to the studio where Jane Fonda met him. Okay.
Got
out of the car, walked Jane Fonda's movie, The Morning After, with her, the private screening there on the lawn.
Wow.
She sat next to me, and I was only 16 years of age. She was nominated for an Oscar.
That is so cool. Well, brother, that's some great memories. We got a couple more minutes. I got to get out of here. So tell everybody how they can follow you, what you're working on, and all that good stuff.
Well, I'm going to be doing some really cool stuff coming up. RyanORadio.com. You can follow me there. Of course, the subscription is still $9.99 a month. Unlimited posts to read. Visit mailden.com. If you want to buy an article there to read, it's only $1. It's $4.99 a month there. Basically, the next, I had a poll on Twitter, the last fans to pick which report I'll do next. The one is Sam Kinison. So I'll be writing about that.
All right, sounds good. Make sure you guys follow him. And of course, everywhere Randy is at, on X, on Facebook, and everywhere. And of course, make sure you go to themetalden.com and subscribe today. We're going to get out of here. We're going to let him out on good behavior. Back in a moment, and we're going to close out the show right after this. All right, brother, that was awesome as always.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me back on.
I appreciate it anytime, brother. Just let me know.
Okay, brother. I'll talk to you.
All right, have a good day.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Sunday morning at 11 a.m. I'll have a seat for you Sunday morning at 11 a.m. on WQEE 99.1 FM.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank Randy for being with us this morning. Stay with us. Coming up is Health, Happiness, and Harmony with Dr. Lewis Moynton. He's up next, followed by another great hour of nonstop programming from Calvary Fellowship. And then we head into the 12 o'clock hour, 12 to 5, with the best sports lineup in the business. Rod Peterson Show, Sports Beat, Richard Holdridge, and the one, the only, the man known as Braves Country Radio HD with Matt McGee. We'll be back here tomorrow morning. Yes, we want to thank Randy for being with us once again. You guys have a great day. Peace, love, respect. I'm out of here. Until we meet again on the True Crime Thursday, treat everybody with the most respect you can. Thank you for joining us on YouTube and everywhere live. See you guys tomorrow.